So you worked with somebody for 2 months and they're paralyzed. Y'all click, really hit it off. And let's say you've done something I have no experience with, which is making a friend in your adult life. 2 months later, they tell you that they can actually walk. How you feel about it?
I would never talk to them again.
Well, what if you ask follow-up questions? Is there any excuse that would be acceptable for you?
No. I wouldn't be in this situation.
Oh, God, don't do me. Okay. All right. I was just curious how you would take it.
Why? You would take it on the chin and be like, oh, that's interesting.
Well, I feel like finding out that they were filming a movie after or to help them get into a role or something. I mean, that if they told me they were filming a movie, whatever they do outside of work, they needed to be like this for it to work. I would find that's one I could find acceptable, I think.
Okay, so somebody that I work with
Yeah.
at my job.
They just got there, but y'all hit it off and you've known him for 2 months before he shares this information.
And they're moonlighting as an actor, but allowing their preparation for a role as a paraplegic to bleed into their primary job during the daytime, which is with me.
Yes. Why are you repeating this back to me?
No.
Okay, well, clearly this is a little different, but I was just, I'm sure you came across that he pretended to be paralyzed, that Tarsem asked him to pretend to be paralyzed while they're at the hospital. Please, I thought it was interesting. Ooh, you real tough.
Yes, but circumstantially that is wildly different.
I know.
Everybody that around him that he's working with knew he was an actor.
Yeah. Yeah. Please, I said it was different. I really was just curious, like, how that would play in real life.
Black and white. Black and white.
Welcome to Black and White Movie Night. I'm Black.
I'm white.
I am Brittany.
I'm Brendan.
Our theme for this month is our favorites, and this week it is mine. It's The Fall from 2006, directed by Tarsem or Tarsem Singh. I feel like at one point in his life he only went by the first name. He did The Cell.
Tried it on for size. Guess it didn't take.
We got the screenplay written by Dan Gilroy, who also did Nightcrawler.
So you said 2006, but...
Yeah. Well, just, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Nico Sultanakis, sorry about the pronunciation, and also Tarsem. So it's based on the 1981 Bulgarian film Yo Ho Ho, written by Valery Petrov, and it's one that Tarsem watched while he was in boarding school, and then he bought the rights to eventually. Just from reading the synopsis very quickly, the difference is that story is about pirates. Okay, you mentioned 2006. What about it?
It debuted at Toronto Film Festival.
Mm-hmm.
In 2006, but it didn't experience any sort of release until years later.
Correct.
2008. So it's a little, not a troubled production. It's a very
dedicated,
unusual production.
Yeah. So before we get into any more details, I'm bringing back the 6 or 7 word synopsis, good and bad. And I thought of something to help you through how you struggle with giving a bad synopsis. Imagine you're a critic who hates everything and you can't be generic. Maybe that'll help guide you to make a bad synopsis. So my good synopsis would be paralyzed stuntman manipulates kid into stealing drugs. And my bad one that somebody who hates the film would give is hospital patient narrates stories for other patient. That sounds terribly boring. What's your good? What's your bad?
Actor falls, little girl falls. Both hurt.
That's your bad, right? That's your good.
That could be both. How about that?
Okay, but it can't. How? That's what you would use to entice somebody to see the movie? You would go see something if somebody said that's what it was about to you?
If I read that as a synopsis, I would be like, what could this be about?
Say it again. Actor falls.
Actor falls, little girl falls, both hurt. Could mean anything.
You would go see it based on that. That's interesting. I don't think I would. I'd be like, what the fuck is that about?
But you would go to see Handicap Man. What was it?
Look at you. But my good one, paralyzed stuntman manipulates kid into stealing drugs. That sounds interesting to me.
Okay.
So many things I want to say about this film. Because even the backstory, like you were saying about how it got made, is really interesting. So if there's anybody out there who happens to listen to the movies we do, even though you haven't seen them, I do encourage you to see the movie before listening to us. Like we always do spoilers, but I just feel like a lot of the enjoyment is experienced first without anybody telling you what happens for this movie, for me.
Any descriptions that we do of the imagery in this movie is going to be trash compared to what it actually looks like. So it's worth seeking out.
Yeah. Where is it? Is it
even if you just do a free trial on MUBI, that's MUBI.
Do it just for this film.
Yeah. You could also watch the Pavements documentary if you like music.
What do you mean? Oh, that's also on MUBI.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you. But something else that I want to repeat that I like that we did last time: like, love, hate, and can't believe. Would you like to go first, or me?
No, you go first.
Oh, you being nice because it's my pick. So
no, it's your pick, so you should have to go first.
Okay, I like the transitions. I appreciate a good transition, and though these weren't subtle, that was fine because I don't think anything about the movie was trying to be subtle. Really appreciated those. I loved.
Why do you like transitions?
I don't know. It makes me feel that I'm in good hands when I'm watching them. Whatever I'm watching, I feel like it's not insignificant, but something that maybe.
What is the substance of a good transition?
What is the substance of a good transition?
You're gonna have like a star wipe, and you just like it because that is the transition.
Okay, I want one that takes some thought for this movie, I guess. The man is chomping his dentures at the orange, which goes into the scene with her playing with her eye perspective, but she's holding her finger over a picture of an orange tree. Just like little threads. Yeah, it needs a connecting. It doesn't need a connecting thread, but it's nice when it has a connecting thread.
Okay.
Was that decent enough explanation?
No. Just want to make sure I understand what stands out to you as a transition that you like.
Yeah, okay. And I'll point out a few as we're going through the plot in a little bit. Love the chemistry between Roy and Alexandra. And even behind the scenes, I watched the documentary. She was very loving. She's such a sweet, sweet baby. And they didn't meet until they filmed their first scene together, which was interesting. Hate the slip and fall scene. It looked terribly fake to me. But
with her?
I don't think it was her. But yes, it was her slip and fall scene. But even with that, still love the movie. Like that was it. The feet looked too big, even if they were the right size. They looked huge.
I was kind of thinking you were gonna say the stop motion animated sequence after she falls. So I don't really like stop motion, but in that scenario, it didn't bother me at all. And can't believe how cinematic and breathtaking every shot is. I don't want to say it was distracting, but I had to tell myself I could come back later and watch or just, observe the scenery without listening. Like I wanted to put it on mute and watch it. No subtitles.
Yeah, no, none needed. Just enjoy the imagery. Even the hospital they filmed in, gorgeous. The sand dunes that they film on. Alexander the Great scene.
Mm-hmm.
They were filmed in Namibia.
Just the Alexander the Great ones? At the beginning you're talking about?
I'm talking about at the beginning. I can't remember if they were other sand dunes. But I know that one for sure was filmed in Namibia. Same ones in Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. All right, you. Like, love, hate, can't believe.
I like... He's more known now, but at the time when it came out, that's pretty much a cast of unknowns.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about Lee Pace.
is more well known now. I still wouldn't necessarily think of him as like a
mainstream.
Yeah. Just I think an average TV watcher or film goer would have difficulty naming him or placing him.
Even with the comic book, you know what I'm talking about. I swear there's a franchise that he plays a villain in.
Yeah, on a Apple Plus show that we don't watch. Oh,
no,
he
I'm
was
in a
the villain
movie.
in the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, and that must be.
But it's still heavy makeup and.
Okay.
I love all of the visuals.
Yeah,
it's just such a striking movie that even we watched a little bit of. Well, actually, I don't know if you watched this one with me or if I watched it by myself. Tarsem, the director, talking about it. He was talking about, or he was asked what inspired him or what sources of some of his inspiration were. And he said the secret to originality is concealing your sources.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Okay.
Or concealing who you stole it from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's one scene in particular that I know is straight up lifted out of another movie.
What
That's a
movie? What
documentary. And actually, I know you said he bought Yo
The
Ho
rights,
Ho,
Yo Ho
the
Ho,
pirate, which I'd be curious to see that and how it plays out and what the story is, because there's really not much pirate.
Well, I told you, a paralyzed stuntman tricks a kid into helping him get drugs to end his life. Except he tells him to tell about pirates.
Oh.
So it's not the 4 bandits, it's about pirates.
Oh,
and they do include a reference. Remember when she's like, is your friend a pirate? And when he starts that story, he's like, yeah, they were pirates. And she was like, I don't like pirates.
The x-ray of her head, too. He said, is that a pirate flag?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I misunderstood that then when you were explaining Yo Ho Ho, but it's about pirates.
Okay, I understand.
I thought you were saying that movie is just about pirates.
No.
But yeah, even knowing that, and it still doesn't bother me because it's very cool seeing those exotic locations and that stuff explored in a narrative feature versus just shown as a documentary.
Okay. So what shot are you talking about that was straight up stolen?
When the mystic eats the map.
Okay. What is that?
The chanting people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that song.
Back. Ooh.
It was so good. Back. What about it? He stole it from a documentary?
Yeah, it's an entire sequence from the movie Baraka.
Okay.
And it's just completely devoid of context. There's no voiceover or anything explaining. There's no David Attenborough. The tribe of the Meadow. Do this
in
chant to
in the documentary about the movie.
It just descends into the valley where they're all sitting in that configuration, and they just start doing. They have the guy sitting in the center, and he's leading the chant or directing it like the conductor. And it puts you in a trance to watch it, much like it does in the movie.
Yeah.
And you
have to show me this.
Yeah.
We'll have to include it in the show notes.
You feel, even not knowing what it is, you feel some sort of spirituality going on just because of how intense and organized. And there is something that we don't really tap into in our day-to-day. And even in organized religion, it's very much removed, or at least in Western religion, my experience of it, of having that, like the chanting. We have some facsimile of it with like church songs and people singing, but people also just stand there and don't sing. And there is something that's difficult to put into words that happens when you do experience that or see it. And if you do participate in it, it does awaken something primal in you.
Okay.
When you see, I don't know how to explain it beyond
mesmerizing.
that. Yeah.
Is the word. Cool.
I hate. What do I hate? I don't know. I hate that it's not well known.
Okay.
I hate that it's kind of undiscovered, even with whatever cult status it has. I still feel like it's virtually unknown. I mean, the fact that it's available for streaming now through MUBI, and they bought the rights to it and did a 4K restoration and increased its availability now, but that's, almost 20 years later, and it's a movie that deserves an audience.
Yeah.
but I don't think bringing it back to life now will allow it to find an audience because of how much disbelief has been sown into the culture of imagery. So
you think so?
I think people will not believe that it's all authentic imagery and
CGI.
that there isn't any computer
all shot on location.
At all. Yeah.
So I may or may not have only seen this because I found it on the illegal streaming site. Won't say, but I will say I saw it on a computer screen when I watched it. And actually I was doing some research and it was like Tumblr is responsible for, it has a strong fan base on Tumblr. And I really do think that's where I saw it, but at a little bit I was obsessed with Lee Pace, so I'm sure I was following that.
I can't believe that we didn't make a special trip to see it when they did
I was upset I didn't know about it. The re-release in 2024, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
I didn't know about it. Did you know about it and just forget to tell me?
No, I feel like we did.
No way.
I don't want to.
Brendan, absolutely not.
I don't want to scratch at this. I'm sure it was only on a weeknight somewhere. Honestly, I don't have a clear memory of whether it did. I just know that they did release it, and per convenience, I'm sure it was probably something we didn't endeavor to do.
Huh.
I don't.
Well, I don't remember it, so I'll.
Yeah, can't say for certain without having. And I don't think there's a way to research whether it played or not.
So this stars Katinka Antaro as Alexandria. He met briefly with Elle Fanning for the role. But anyway, so in my research, it was saying how while they were filming a commercial in Romania, I believe, he sent his brother to try to find a child to star in this. And he was telling them to tell stories to the classroom, see who reacted eagerly and earnestly. And Katinka, caught his eye. And she was Katinka. And she caught his eye, but she was 4.5 at the time and didn't speak English. So it took her a year to learn how to speak English. And even when she did, I found it said Tarsem couldn't spend as much time with her as he wanted because she was starting to speak English with the Indian accent. Mm-hmm. That's neat.
Yeah, so then he brought Romanian people in. He would speak to them, and they would speak to her.
Oh, okay. Neat. Also starring Lee Pace as Roy, masked bandit. Tarsem said he wanted an unknown actor, and Lee Pace only had one film credit, Soldier's Girl, at this time. He got a Golden Globe nomination for it, but apparently he was still unknown. And it turns out Peter Jackson saw the film and was a fan, which is why he wanted to meet Lee Pace, The Hobbit. That's what I was thinking of when I said franchise. Remember earlier, I was like, I feel like he's been in a franchise.
It's Lord of the Rings.
What?
The Hobbit was 3 different movies.
Yeah?
Is he in The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings?
He got silver hair? I'm not crazy.
There are characters that carry over, but I thought he was in the regular Lord of the Rings trilogy. I could be wrong. I'm not an enthusiast of either of those trilogies.
Me either.
He could be in both.
The Hobbit, Guardians of the Galaxy, The Hobbit. There's no Lord of the Rings on here.
Well, The Hobbit is the Lord of the Rings, pretty much.
I don't know, but I believe you. I don't give a fuck. Even when I love Lee Pace, I didn't go see this. I don't care about...
Didn't go see this,
The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit for him.
Or Guardians of the Galaxy.
But I did look up some of his old stuff during the Obsession. So I know smaller roles he's had.
So you said Golden Globe or Emmy?
Golden Globe. I don't know if he's been nominated for an Emmy since then. I just meant for this, before he was starring in this film.
And did you say what it was called, the thing that he won the award for, that Tarsem found him from?
You mean that Peter Jackson found him from?
No, Tarsem said.
Oh, you just mean what he starred in Soldier Girl, sorry.
Mm-hmm. You know what he played in that?
A woman? I haven't seen it though. Have you?
No.
Oh, okay. Why you had to point that out?
I remember reading something about Lee Pace. I can't remember if it was with Ian McKellen, maybe.
Okay.
In an interview they were doing together.
They had something together? A role?
I don't know, but he kind of outed him when he wasn't out.
Okay. Where'd you get this information?
About
the outing.
I just remember hearing about it. I don't know. I didn't research it for this. I didn't know about the Soldier's Girl thing until seeing Tarsem speaking about it.
Oh.
Are you going to read the rest of the cast list? I feel like you don't really need to say the other people who acted in it.
No, I wasn't. I was just going to also shout out everybody else on the movie. Costume designer, Aiko Ishioka. I don't know. In my mind, this was a lady who was in her 50s or something right now. She died back in 2012 at 73. She was married to one of the writers. It looked like it was only for a year before she died. Production, good job. Casting, cinematography, everybody. Composer, who was Krishna. You say that? Levy? Good job. And all the 4 bandits and Evelyn. I don't know. I feel like they were perfectly cast. Really bought it.
Yeah, and the actress who played Evelyn, I did look her up because I figured she must have, and she had a familiar looking face, even if I couldn't place her from anything else.
She reminds me of, dang, I'm finna lose it. She reminds me of just slightly Raylan's wife on Justified.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Her name's Justine Waddell.
Uh-huh. I was going to say Waddle.
Maybe Waddle.
And she what?
And she just, I guess, stopped acting in 2012, which I
saw 2011.
Yeah. Or maybe the last credit she had was something that got released in 2012. Okay. She shot in 2011. It was filmed in 24 different countries over the course of 4 years.
Which is why he couldn't get anybody to produce it.
He financed it with all of his own money.
Did you see an amount that he thinks it is? Because he told his brother not to tell him until he has to know.
Well, I don't know. The top return that I found for production budget was $30 million.
Well, he estimates $20 million.
Oh, okay. I mean, maybe they adjusted it for inflation.
And when it got released, about 2.3 is what it brought in.
Yeah, that's worldwide.
Yeah. Well, it only had,
which is strange because of how much of an international seeming movie it is. And like even the cast, like there's an Indian, black guy, a Romanian girl, an American, or is Lee Pace is American? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, 16 screens. So it's not like it was a wide release.
Yeah, I know, but especially for the time when it came out, it was a little bit ahead of the curve as far as having that diverse casting and globe-trotting locations. But Tarsem, he made The Cell, which you haven't seen, which also has a lot of dreamlike imagery. It does a lot of, there is CGI in it, but it is mostly practical.
If I'm not mistaken, was it also? There's also another location from The Cell that he knew he was going to use for the fall. So I don't remember which location they shared in common,
but before doing any feature films, he did a shitload of commercials.
Yes, yeah.
And since this was a movie idea that he had for so long, pretty much while he was globetrotting doing all these international ads for all these huge brands. He did like Bacardi and Nike and Levi's, and he was using those shoots as opportunities for scouting locations. And then even while doing the production, I think was using some of the production crews from those commercials while he was there, and he would just fly the actors and the talent out.
Yeah.
To complete certain sequences.
And in the documentary where they're showing some of the different scenes, just how people were congregated around and they'll have to tell them to move so they could get the shot. It was a whole bunch of different troubles with some of the locations.
And he also devised a pay scale for the production where everybody was paid the same. So everybody was equally important.
About $2,000 a week, I found.
Okay, I didn't look up any statistics on it.
Yeah, I thought it was neat. but they were passionate about the film just like he was. So, gosh, it had to be really so personally fulfilling to want to have to, what words am I trying to say? For wanting to make something so long and you finally get to do it. Like, even though it cost him a lot of money, I felt like I would have been fulfilled. You know what I mean?
They did some interviews with him and with Lee Pace for the MUBI restoration and re-release. And they asked him about it being an obsession. And he's like, not an obsession, a possession. I was possessed. And he's like, it was something that I would not have been able to finish my life if I didn't do.
Related to the MUBI release, it had its U.S. premiere, again, the re-release, at Beyond Fest, and it screened at the Egyptian Theater in Hollywood, which is where I saw Star is Born for the first time at the TCM Film Festival.
The Judy Garland Star is Born.
Oh yes, the good one.
Not Lady Gaga.
Not that the others not good.
Barbara
I haven't.
Streisand.
Not that the others aren't good. I haven't seen them, but wait, did I see the Barbara Streisand one? I don't know. I can't remember.
Doubt it.
Either way, the screening sold out in less than 10 minutes. He attended with Sultanakis, the editor, and a couple of other guys, and they received 2 standing ovations. So I thought that was nice.
Well, when it premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival, the year that it was in 2006, that year Roger Ebert was supposed to be the chair of the film festival, but that was whenever he was diagnosed with his illness that a decade or 8 years later ended up taking his life. But yeah, so he was battling illness and had to withdraw from being the chair and ended up not being able to see it until years later.
Right.
Anyways, upon its release, it was not welcome with open arms and pretty much just got kicked around and dismissed.
So I found that he targeted the TIFF festival because he knew Ebert would be there. And like you said, he got the cancer diagnosis. But apparently also before he even released it, Harvey, had approached him about it. But
he tried to buy it, yeah.
Since he had a reputation for fucking shit up in order to secure distribution, he wouldn't let him see it. And apparently during the screening, he walked out 15 minutes into it. I was like, yikes. And then you mentioned Ebert did see it and he liked it. But they were saying another problem was that it was rated R due to the odious getting stabbed. Well, leaning back on the knife, I guess.
Well, I'm sure the suicidal...
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it was more than that.
It's very heavy thematic subject matter.
I was thinking, it was other stuff, but that was the only thing that was mentioned. And I was like, they were saying the target audience was kids. Like, do you consider that this was for kids? Even if it lost the stabbing scene? It's not, right? That's what you were saying.
That's not what I was saying.
What'd you say? I thought you said it was due to other dark stuff in it. What'd you say?
No, wait, what are you saying I said?
I mentioned that it was rated R due to odious getting stabbed, and what did you say?
Because of the blood. I said I would think that the suicide attempts and suicide subject matter would factor into that rating as well.
Which is why I just said you were just saying other dark stuff also affected it. In what world is this for kids due to some of the issues you were mentioning prior?
No, I think a kid could watch this and all of the heavy subject matter would just go over their head, just like it goes over Katinka's head.
Okay. Because he says napping and they never show Evelyn being hunched. It's just we see her watching them. Okay.
Yeah, I think back on movies or shows or anything that I remember definitely seeing as a kid and then watching it now and being like, whoa.
You missed so much.
I had no idea that this was going on. Because when you don't know as a kid, you interpret it the way that she does.
Mm-hmm.
No, don't go to sleep. No sleep now.
I also want to correct myself. I said 16 screens in 2008. It started on 16 and expanded to 111. So even with 111, it was still 2.3 million.
I saw it 4 times in the theater.
Oh, you've seen this 4 times?
In the theater. I saw it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, 2008.
Mm-hmm. I drive all the way out.
To where?
To Winter Park to go see it.
Oh, yeah.
Over and over again.
I didn't know you had seen it that many times. I just thought you had seen it maybe once. Look at you.
I loved it.
You didn't tell me that.
Way before you ever fucking knew about it, buddy.
It's not like you recommended it and I refused.
Way before you were a pirate yourself, yo-ho-hoing on torrent sites.
Oh, please.
And ripping
that's
it
funny.
off.
Calling me a pirate. I didn't say that's where I definitely saw it. I said it wouldn't be preposterous if that's what happened. One more thing I did want to mention. So a lot of the post-production I found happened in Paris. And also the documentary had some footage of him doing some of the noises. So pretty much all the screams for the Indian and the monkey and some other stuff, breathing, kissing, sounds of Alexandra at some point. He made all those. And he's telling them just to go to the next scene. And he doesn't even have to look at the screen to do the timing and whatever. He wasn't even looking at it. And the people in the background was like, he really does know every frame of this film. It looked crazy. Thought that was neat.
Have you seen anything else that he's done? He did a few other movies.
I looked at his...
Immortals.
I saw that. I've seen none of that, I don't think. Have I seen The Immortals?
I don't know.
What's it about?
Greek gods, Theseus. It's all mythology.
No, I don't think
I remember seeing it when it came out in theaters, but I don't remember much about it. He also went to the same, and he went concurrently with Michael Bay and Zack Snyder.
Yes, I saw that.
I
saw about 2 more people after that too.
Very stylized directors.
Huh.
They're very visually stylized. So, okay, yeah, just going back to it being eventually released in 2008. That was after Ebert finally did see it.
Yes.
And then he started championing it big time to try to get some sort of distribution, which ended up leading it to it getting a North American release. Mm. Also, fellow directors David Fincher and Spike Jonze attached their names to it to try to use whatever weight they had to throw around, which, back in that time period, they were pretty substantial. I mean, I guess Fight Club wasn't really a resounding success when it first came out, but by the time it reached 2006, I'm sure it had garnered its cult classic status. Spike Jonze was a big deal by then from the movies he made. Being John Malkovich was a big deal.
I haven't seen that.
Adaptation had a bunch of award nominations. Did that win? I think it won for screenplay, maybe.
That's Nick Cage. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was also involved in all the Jackass movies, which, regardless of how you feel about them, were hugely successful. So yeah, they attached their names to it for no money other than to help with exposure.
Yeah.
And it, I guess, goes without saying, since he was integral for the movie being released at all, that Ebert loved the fucking movie.
Yeah.
It was 4 stars across the board.
Oh, cool.
For him.
Ready to jump into the plots? I did it again. I'm taking it out.
No, leave it in there.
I keep saying
It's your true nature.
My true nature coming out?
Yeah.
Please.
Little nerd. Little corny black.
So it opens and it says a film by Tarsem. We're looking at black and white shot of a body of water. A man's head pops up from beneath the water. The music comes in. And if I didn't say it, which I think I did, I love the score. I should have said score, not music. That's why you looked at me like that.
Well, no, but this opening sequence, and it's the major musical theme in the movie is just Beethoven. You know that, right?
Well,
it's just Beethoven.
I don't know. Wait, when you say major, you mean You just mean this scene.
Dun, dun,
you just meant this scene.
Dun, dun. They use it repeatedly in the movie.
Okay, well, call it out to me because I feel like I've on all the epic scenes that use it. Is that what you're saying to me?
And over the end credits, yeah.
No.
Yes.
How many times would you say?
I couldn't venture a guess, but I would say seven.
I would
say 7 times at least.
Score,
it comes
I'm sorry,
up in the
different.
movie.
I don't even know what to say. Melody. You got me confused about using the word music and not music as if it has words with it.
No.
So what's the difference? There has to be a difference between music and score. Then what's the difference?
I would just think if you're saying music, the music, you would think, yes, the insertion of a song.
Okay.
Versus score, which is generally orchestral or just instrumental.
Telling me they use Beethoven 7
I bet
times.
your favorite part of the score was probably when the little choir boy's voice repeats everything that they're saying in the dialogue.
Oh, you think that was a choir boy that sounded like a high-pitched woman to me? But I did like that part. But I don't know, what do you mean that's my favorite part? Please.
You are skipping over something very important.
The opening?
Since this is your pick as your favorite movie.
What am I skipping over?
Since MUBI purchased or got the rights and restored the movie, the digital copy that we watched was tagged at the beginning with the MUBI production logo intro, which you
What?
couldn't tell if it was part of the movie.
I know I hadn't seen that, but I was like, since it got re-released, and it didn't say extended cut, director's cut. What does it say?
Restoration.
Okay. I didn't know if that was something that was added.
A restorative cut, maybe is what it said.
I don't know if that was part of something that was added, but in my research, I saw that the Once Upon a Time in Los Angeles part, the Once Upon a Time part was added. And the priest with the stick was one. So I thought maybe this beginning was something that was added. I like the music.
Yeah, it's also not a short. It's not the lion roaring. It's not the globe spinning for Universal. It's not. Dun, 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 dun. It's like a 30-second long production intro for it. But yes, it is cool and it is visually arresting. But yeah,
I was like, I paused it. I was like, is this?
I wrote down MUBI logo confusion. That's my first note.
So yeah, filmed by Tarsem. It's black and white shot. It's a body of water. A man head pops up from beneath the water and he takes a breath, I'm sure. Score comes in. We see the fall. A man's head pops out of the steam. Not pops out. It's not scary. But a man's head comes through the steam. He waves his hat. We see an Indian smoking. And I'm calling him an Indian because during this time it was Indian. But we'll see some confusion with the term Indian as the story goes on.
See some confusion by a 5-year-old girl.
Yes, because she knows an actual Indian. Anyway, we see a prosthetic leg, a lone feather floating, Lee Pace's name, and then we get all these little vignettes of people in action. And even though it's in slow motion, like you can still, to me, sense the urgency, like you know something's happening. In every shot, I feel like you can pause and analyze what's going on. Like even when the rope is being thrown, I love this shot. It's the reflection of the bridge and the train and the steam and the people looking down and the reflection of the rope.
It's a reflection of it in the water.
Yes.
In the river underneath.
Well, where else you going to reflect it on?
A mirror?
Why would anyway? Love that. So you're not quite sure what's going on, but there is a stopped train. We have people in what is it? You think it's a river? Lake? River? Whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Couple people in there.
A body of water.
Yeah. Horses, again, general mayhem, but it looks so smooth. And then I really love this too. So when the Indian stands up and then looks up at the bridge.
The Native American.
Yes,
Indian, Native American.
Oh, yes.
Indian.
Okay, I guess we should distinguish. Yes. A Native American.
Yes, like a headdress and war paint.
when he stands up and looks at the bridge, I forget what credit is right there, but it just really looked integrated into the scene to me. I really appreciated it. I don't know. I don't know why. And then we get the men working together to pull a rope, and a horse is pulled from the water. We have a woman in a locket who's talking to a man. They both turn like...
A woman wearing a locket.
What to say with a locket?
In a locket.
I did not say in a locket.
Yes, you did.
Okay, I'm doing that line over.
No.
A woman wearing a locket, and she's with a man. You can see they both turn to see what's going on. And the only thing that puzzles me about this scene is that we never see Lee Pace getting pulled out. Like, the first thing we see is the horse, but I guess that makes for a stronger image. And plus, I know it's going to be an odd thing to say, but I feel like we would be desensitized to seeing a human being pulled from the water versus a dead horse. I don't know. What do you think?
You think the horse is dead?
Yes, it gets mentioned in the dialogue.
Oh.
That the horse died.
Do you think they used a dead horse to film the scene?
I saw the little model he had. So, no.
Out of everything in this opening sequence, that's the most striking one to me, is when the horse is getting lifted out of the water in the harness.
Yeah.
And that's, as the horse's body comes fully out of the water, that's when you get the directed by Tarsem.
No. Oh. Okay. But you're not saying that a film by Tarsem wasn't at the top. Okay. I was like, I don't know what?
I said what I meant.
Shut up.
And I meant what I said.
And then just after that first sequence, I don't know, you just feel like you're in good hands. I don't know how else to say it. I was like, oh, this is going to be good. So we get Los Angeles. And like I said, the Once Upon a Time was added. So apparently that was an original idea he had. And then after he saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he was like, I knew I should have included it. So on the re-release, that's something that got added.
I didn't even notice it.
You were looking down like you do sometimes for
because
too long.
I was taking notes the first time, and you took none.
Because I watched it again, like a good reviewer should.
I had already seen it more times than you.
Yes, but you don't got to depend on your memory. You forget stuff. We get sounds of chopping.
They didn't have that in the original version that I saw.
Which is why it's even more important for you to pay attention to the re-release. We hear chopping sounds. The California orange truck is in the, what do you call that? Not a roundabout, not a cul-de-sac. Driveway? Circular driveway. And then we see a beautiful big, not a house, it's a hospital, but gorgeous. So it's in Cape Town, South Africa, built in the original building, original part of it, 1770. Gorgeous.
Did you say Florida orange truck?
California.
Oh, okay. And this truck...
1920s, it is.
All right, Yoda.
Yoda?
Yeah.
What does Yoda do? He talks, his sentences are inverted or something. Is it? 1920s it is. Okay. I might like Yoda.
The California orange truck, the back of it is, yes, because it's turn of the century, it is the wooden paneling on the back, and it's painted. So we're going around the hospital.
Yes.
See a little girl with a broken arm. We hear crying.
Okay, so yes, in the hospital, we see a girl with a broken arm, but she has a piece of paper. It looks like she's cut shapes out of it. I don't know. What is that called? It has to have a name. We see some misspelled words, something that looks like Nurse Evelyn.
It's one of those when you take a piece of paper and you fold it up and then you use scissors and cut along the edge. You cut different shapes. So then whenever you unfurl the paper again, it releases you see the pattern that you created by cutting into the folds.
So we see some misspelled words, something about Nurse Evelyn, orange, priest, I love you, Alexandria.
Priest spelled Preest.
Oh, and then we see that she's in a cast. She's looking around the children's ward. Doesn't seem to see any suitable playmates. Either people are coughing or they're preoccupied or just laying there.
The cast 2 is one of those where it's got the straight piece coming out from your back to keep your arm elevated. So her arm is coming out from the shoulder and it's up all the time. And it's got the little straight piece diagonally coming out from her torso up into her bicep, supporting it. So her arm is bent at a 90-degree angle and up the whole time.
Do you still have to get a cast like that?
Have you ever seen someone walking around in a cast like that?
That doesn't mean they don't exist. Like, how do you keep it? Why? What would be the purpose of having to keep it like this?
Keeping it elevated? I'm not sure. I'm not sure why they used to do that. I would think because maybe the materials they used for the cast were so heavy that would help keep your arm up because you wouldn't be able to lift it otherwise.
You're so smart.
It's not true.
So she throws a note out of the window and it's floating. She was trying to give it to Nurse Evelyn, who we see. And when I first saw this movie, I thought Nurse Evelyn was deaf of how she reacted to the note. You didn't think that was weird? She just opens her mouth quickly and says nothing. She looks like she's not saying any real words and she's circling her hands. You didn't think that was strange?
No.
I thought she was deaf the first time I saw her.
She didn't want to shout. I don't know. She didn't want to be rude to other people by screaming up to a little girl who dropped paper.
Okay, anyway. So it looks like it lands in the bed of oranges. So Alexandra, goes into the hall slowly. This is the first glimpse we see of the X-ray technician and his PPE, I guess, to protect from radiation, which is what the bad guy suits are going to look like, at least the upper parts. And when he opens the door, you can hear a low roar for the sound.
Yeah, like a hum, like a machine.
Sounds kind of scary. Yes.
And so this getup, it's huge. I don't know technically, and I didn't look it up, but I imagine it's like big lead draped stuff. So it looks like a suit of armor.
Yeah.
But even bigger than that. Like it's not like a knight wearing a helmet. The helmet is like the size of an oil drum.
I don't know what size an oil drum is.
Maybe not an oil drum, but like a barrel. It's big. It
ain't that a barrel. It ain't that big.
It's like a
but it does extend
barrel.
From your head. Yeah.
It's a foot off of the top of his head, and then it has the square rectangle for him to look out of. Yeah. For a visor, and then also like the big gloves.
So no, I'm pretty sure I'm not crazy. Never mind. I was going to mention the sound of the
pretty
instrument.
Sure you are.
So she leaves her part of the hospital. We see her looking through a window, and we see someone holding the note and reading it. So she walks in and she snatches it, and she says, well, at least the subtitles.
Oh, wait. Let's rewind back to her throwing the note out the window. She also calls out, Miss Evelyn. A note for you in English.
Yes.
So we can hear her accent already. So we know that she's not, and she's crowing about the fact that she wrote this note for Nurse Evelyn in English. And you can also, right away, you can hear that she loves Nurse Evelyn. Like this is her friend in the hospital.
Yeah, it's cute. She's adorable, by the way. Pigtails, missing her front teeth. So adorable. So she leaves the building. She's looking through a window when she sees someone reading the note. She goes into the room, and this is Roy, which we'll find out, and she snatches the note. And the subtitle said that she said, "This, you shouldn't read other people's notes, or this note is not for you." I think it's you shouldn't read other people's notes. Snatches it in a huff and places herself against the wall, but she's still looking at Roy.
In the room.
Yeah. And Roy is a little amused. He chuckles. He was like, your note came through the window and landed on my lap. It's written in gibberish.
He says, "Are you Alexandria?"
Uh-huh. And she gets mad about the gibberish. She would say, "It's not gibberish. It's not for you."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he says, "I couldn't understand any of it." And then her response, I wish I would have written it down word for word, because part of what Tarsem said, his style of implementing this little girl into the movie, was not having her coached in learning rote dialogue. She was more or less as natural as possible.
Yes. Which blew my mind when I first looked up the film after I saw it the first time.
Most of what she says is her natural response that's being coaxed out of her by the other actors who are kind of trying to prompt her to respond in certain ways.
So as she's against the wall, she looks at Roy's situation. So she bends down and I like the camera. It gets shaky like it's from her point of view. She sees the brace. He asks what happens to her about her cast. And she says, I fell. And he says, me too.
She said, I fell picking oranges.
Yeah. And then we get the shot under the bed. She asks about how he goes to the bathroom. And he says, they let me go right here.
How do you go to party?
Yeah.
How do you go party?
What sets her off to make her run out the room and around the corner? Maybe she's just done.
I don't know. But also, while she's making her rounds and running around the hospital, she's usually in her cast arm. She's holding on to this little like cigar box that she's carrying around the entire movie. And it's full of all of the things that she likes.
Yeah, that's coming. So she runs around the corner. I can't remember what makes her do that, but we have a moment where the light is filtering through the keyhole. We see upside down reflection of a man with a horse. And you can hear the horse snorting. And then a woman opens the door. And Roy says, did you know you're named after Alexander the Great? Then the door opens. Sorry. We see the Iceman with the horse. And that gets her interest about hearing the story or Alexander the Great.
Okay. Explain what an Iceman is. Don't just say, we see the Iceman with the horse. Nobody knows what the fuck that means.
I thought we decided we were talking to people who've seen the movie. They know the man that, I don't know what he do. He transports the ice. Iceman.
Okay. Well,
you think their mind was going to go directly to the Tom Cruise movie? Iceman? Ain't his name Iceman?
That's Val Kilmer.
I know.
He's Maverick.
But that's the movie.
Yeah, but he could also be thinking that it's Mr. Freeze from Batman, the Iceman.
Well, he has a name. Mr. Freeze. I would have said Mr. Freeze. Yes, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Iceman cometh.
He says that?
Yeah.
Okay. Ice transporter. How do you like it?
So, yes. But what is that? Explain what it is.
So it's 1920s. It's a block of ice.
Yes, dude. People don't have freezers.
Yeah.
Yes, so it is a truck that is delivering a gigantic block of ice. I'm not sure for what purpose.
What
do you think they were using it for? Food storage, something? There's
an ice man scene in Meet Me in St. Louis.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
And what are they using the ice for?
Yeah, for to keep stuff cool. What are you going to say?
Yes, but in what way was it used? They would just drop the...
I guess you want to look up
No.
We got to. You can't let it go.
No, it's not that I can't let it go. I just want you to speculate.
I don't understand what you're saying. There's a container called an ice box. You're laughing. You do know refrigerators are called ice boxes, right?
Yeah.
So why is that funny?
Yes, but this
and there's
block of ice is the size of a table.
He got to chop it up, depending on how big the table. Maybe the hospital had a big refrigerator, a big ice box.
Okay. And they have like these huge ice tongs that he uses to clap onto the sides of the big block of ice, and then he can hoist it. I mean, this is a huge dude delivering it. There's a big black guy in overalls and a hat.
Into the 1930s, households used large blocks of ice to keep food cold in ice boxes. So you would sit it in a large compartment at the top, and it would slowly melt. It chilled the surrounding air that circulated down to cool food in lower sections. Giving me a hard time talking about how they gonna use the ice.
I just wanted you to guess at it. It could be used differently in a hospital. They could have used it for something else.
Keep organs? I don't know.
All those organ transplants they were doing back then.
You don't know what's going on.
When surgery was in its infancy.
So yes, the door opens. She sees the Iceman with the horse. So her curiosity has been stoked. She comes back into the room and he asks what's in the box. She sits it down on his bed and opens it and says, things I like. He's like, things you stole? She's like, no. So we see all the different stuff she has in there. A safety pin, a coin, a spoon, an elephant. She said her friend gave it to her.
Picture of her dad. Mm-hmm. Their old house.
Her horse is in the picture.
He says, oh, what happened to your house? Angry people burn it.
And then you can see some of the coaxing He says, I'm sorry to hear that. She says, angry people. He says, yeah, I know. I'm sorry to hear that. And she smiles a little. So she starts asking about Alexander. Well, she calls him Alexandria the Great. And she imagines he has a horse and that he's in the middle of some ruins. But as he's telling the story, he corrects it, and the scene also changes. So the horse fades away, and then we get the buildings going away and the sand dunes coming into view.
Yes. So this is establishing the visual language of the film in these fantasies, going from Roy is telling Alexandria this story, or he's telling her stuff. What we're seeing when it goes into the fantasy sequence is her interpreting what he's saying.
Yes. She has a great imagination.
Yes, like children do.
So part of it, when Alexander the Great pulls a note from wherever to read it, it's in the shape of the note like she wrote for Nurse Evelyn. So yeah, like you said, it's very much her imagining it.
Roy's telling her that Alexander the Great was stuck. He got lost and he was stuck somewhere, and then she starts asking, how did Alexander the Great get from the middle of the buildings?
Yes, from the it's her.
So a lot of it's her trying to figure out how to say it, and English. Then him trying to interpret what she's saying back to him. So yes, and sometimes it is through her repetition and being insistent on what she's saying being correct. Like, how do you not understand this? I'm saying, how did he get from the middle of the buildings?
So the story ends about the water getting poured out, and she interrupts. She's like, that's dumb. He was like, well, what would you have done better? And she says, give each soldier a little bit. Anyway, So Walt, which is a patient in the wing where Roy is, walks in with the doctor. And so Roy's like, come back tomorrow and I tell you an epic tale of love and revenge. He says, you know what epic is? She says, no. He says, it's just a really long story, and it's going to be set in India. We get the man walking in with the teeth. Roy's getting examined by the doctor. The man walking in with the teeth? Okay. There's an older man who's also a patient on the ward. He has dentures.
This is, yes, not just an older man, because everybody's older than her.
Oh,
old. Like an old man. He's just straight up an old man. Yes, he has dentures. He's a wrinkly old bald man who has a very congenial look. He looks friendly. He has a very like stereotypical like Norman Rockwell grandfather, early Americana kind of look to him.
Really? I didn't say all that, but
so you see his dentures.
Yeah.
His dentures don't have any front teeth. What do you think that was about?
What?
Yeah. There were no teeth in the middle.
No.
Yes.
How did I miss that? Well, I think that's being funny because she doesn't have any front teeth, but how did I miss that? What?
Yeah. Okay.
So we also get a little snippet of the doctor talking to Roy saying there's one more operation. This is one of the transitions I mentioned that I appreciated. So the old man, his dentures are in his hand and he's mimicking biting an orange. And then we not fade into the next scene we get is Alexandra looking at the picture that was in her cigar box of the orange tree. It's time for bed. She ventures to Nurse Evelyn's lap in the nurse's station. And in a few minutes, we get the doctor who also played Alexander the Great. He shows up and what do we call that? They weren't rocking, were they? She was just soothing her. To get her to sleep, and she holds up her hand like 5 more minutes.
Yes, and also, I mean, recognizing that this doctor was Alexander the Great and her mind interpreting Roy's story, this is the first instance of everybody around the hospital populates.
Or even stuff people in her past too.
Yes.
Yes. You say that, but I did notice it for him. I noticed it for everybody but him.
Oh.
I did not know until I looked at the credits that he also played Alexander the Great. I was like, ooh, Alexander look fine out there. So it's the next morning. She's running out. One of the nurses tells her to be back before lunch. She stops at the ice transporter man's truck. There's a block of ice on the back, and she licks it. She loves licking it.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out and he's playing with her. He has the tongs. He's like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to chop you. Stop licking the ice. You'll get sick.
Yes, and we get a sense of familiarity here that she does this regularly and that he's caught her doing this repeatedly. I think he might even said, how many times do I got to tell you?
I bet not catch her around here again. Yeah. Well, when he sees her again one day, he's like, no ice today? No, thank you. But anyway, for this, the next scene is Roy talking with a visitor, and it's intercut with Alexandra waiting in the hallway to talk to Roy.
And this visitor is somebody from the movie
production.
Studio,
we saw him in the opening.
Movie production, yeah. Okay. And he's telling Roy, gags aren't for you. You know, gags are what
I'm guessing is the word for stunts.
They call stunts,
in the 20s.
Yeah. And I think that carried on. I think that's just like industry
terminology now?
Common industry term. Yeah. So it must have stayed in place because when I was watching the stunt coordinator for Long Kiss Goodnight talking about their stuff, he never said stunt. He only said gag.
Really?
When we were setting up the gag on the bridge. Yeah.
That's neat. So the visitor's also saying you can see that there's a leg, a prosthetic leg on the... No, does he have the leg on the ground? I think so. If I'm not mistaken, beside him while he's talking.
He's explaining to Roy how his impairment...
Well, before that, he says you're lucky it was only the horse that got killed. Jumping off a train bridge was suicide. If you were trying to impress her, Sinclair already did a better job. Lee Pace is stroking a dog on the bed. We get Alexandra in the hallway. She's watching the priest play a card game with the patient. Then, the stuntman goes into how his career has got better since he got injured.
Yeah. Well, this... I don't know that I would have necessarily called
that guy stuntman.
Him a stuntman, yeah.
What do we want to call him? Let's give him a name.
Fellow actor? I don't know. Fellow performer? But yeah, he's talking about how missing part of his leg, it's like
catapulted his career.
Yeah. Gets a lot of work getting shot in it and run over and all different types of gags that he is able to do now that he has a prosthetic leg.
He tells Roy that the studio's trying to do right by you. Take the money. Gags aren't for you. You're a college man. One cripple to another. No woman's worth suicide. The guy's a movie star, for Christ's sakes.
This is basically indirectly telling Roy's backstory. He was with some girl. He got hurt during this production, trying to do something, trying to do a stunt to impress her, maybe. And now she's left Roy for Sinclair, the movie star, whoever that is.
So this scene compared with what he's going to say to Alexandra when she comes in. She's eventually going to ask if he does tricks like the man who was just visiting him with the one leg. And
was your friend a pirate?
He says just once. So is he a bona fide stuntman or not? You think this was his first time trying to do it?
Yeah, that's what I...
But I still have questions about his relationship with the girl because maybe they were together at the beginning of the movie and then Sinclair stole her because they do have pictures together with the dog. Persuaded her to get with him and she obliged. Okay, I was just trying to work out why he had only done one stunt, which I still don't understand. Why would it have only been one stunt?
This is a period of time when film is in its infancy and a lot of what they were endeavoring to do, there weren't unions and insurance policies on productions. And I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure none of that existed. And back then it was more or less, hey, let's try to do this. Let's try to do that. The concept of making a movie was giving a kid a camera and you would just start coming up with ideas of, what could we do? That's what, whenever they first invented photography and motion pictures, one of the earliest things they did was take naked photos and what would be considered back then like pornographic imagery, basically. So yeah, doing crazy stunts and this guy will jump off of a bridge onto a horse or jump off of a bridge with a horse.
I was just saying, I thought in my mind he'd had another job on production. And then since the stakes were raised, he wanted to do something more flashy. And he was like, oh, let me help out with the stunt. What do you need? That's the only thing that made sense in my mind. Like, why were they even there in the first place? Unless she was already the star, I guess.
I mean, that little coda at the very end of the movie, too, is like a quick cross-cutting of a bunch of early...
Yeah, they look so good, too.
Yeah.
And scary. Like, dangerous, I mean.
Yeah, and that's kind of what's extra impressive about a movie like this that's not using... Because it's just so commonplace now where anything that we discussed in The Man Who Came to Dinner, of like just seeing a real fire in the fireplace versus that would probably be digitally added in now just to reduce liability on set of not having an actual fire. Yeah,
so on the documentary, in her dream sequence where that carriage that they got Evelyn from, when it's on fire, they had they had footage of that where Lee Pace was sitting on the crane and it's turning around and she runs behind him. So they set it on fire and it goes and you can hear Tarsem say, fuck, this is the most useless thing ever. And everybody's like, reset right quick. Cause it was, the fire was actually burning and it was to a crisp and it was done. It's like, oh, the pressure. So the priest gives Alexandra an orange. She's still in the hallway. And she says, it wasn't me. It was another girl. I didn't throw an orange at you, which harkens back to what she wrote on her note. Mm-hmm. Thought it was cute. There's a little ongoing thing about her throwing oranges at the priest. She comes and sits on Roy's bed. He doesn't open his eyes or acknowledge her. So I took that as he's in a bad mood now. Until she asks if your friend was a pirate, then he acknowledges that she's there.
Was your friend a pirate?
He says he hurt his leg. He does tricks for pictures. Pictures, flickers. She was like, I've never seen one. He's like, you're not missing much. And is that what you do like your friend? And he says just once. So that's where my question came from about actually being a stuntman. So she says, tell me the story. What story?
The epic.
The epic. Close your eyes. What do you see? She says nothing.
Yeah, that's you.
No, it's not. Why do you say that?
Mm-hmm.
He tells her to rub them and says, can you see the stars? And she says yes. So that's cute. Ooh, and then we get
Did you ever do that as a kid?
Rub my eyes?
Your eyes real hard to get that effect on purpose?
No. You did?
Yeah.
Okay, I missed the memo.
Remember that where you would like look at a light and then
I've done that.
Blink around the room and see the echo of the light?
Yeah. So we get footage of it's nighttime. Someone is swimming in the water. They get out of the water. It looks like they're on the island. And Luigi, I believe, says, tell me, Indian, is it true? Then the masked bandit, we hear somebody say, is what true? He says, well, they're going to execute your twin brother tomorrow, or Governor Odious is. And I like this transition too. I don't know what the Indian has, maybe a towel, a piece of cloth, and he fans it out. And then the next cut is him sticking a sword in his waist. Anyway, it just looks like he's continuing to get ready. I don't know. So we get introduced to all the characters of the tale. They all hate Governor Odious. They all give a scream at the end and vow they're going to be the ones to end his life. We got the ex-slave, Adabinga. His brother died from toiling in the fields to fill Governor Odious's coffers. We got the Indian. And this is where we see another misinterpretation. So Lee Pace says that he closed all the doors to his wigwam. And in her imagination, it's a huge fucking mansion with so many doors that the Indian has to close. But basically,
and that he's an Indian man from India,
yes,
not a Native American,
right?
Indian.
Apparently, the squaw, is that insulting to say? What is a squaw?
No, that's also Native American,
right?
Indian.
But it's not rude, right? Like, is it one of their words, squaw? Okay, so he had a squaw. Are you married to a squaw?
Yeah,
what's like the possession?
like a princess, basically, I guess.
So there's a squaw in existence, and she was the most beautiful one ever, and no one had laid eyes upon her. What? Well, you want to back up to what?
Walk back 2 steps to
what?
Otobenga.
Okay. Oh, you want to describe him? Sorry. It's the Iceman.
Yes.
I forgot to say that.
And in the story, in her imagination, he is shirtless with like a loincloth, and he's got these big horns
on
that
his,
he's not coming out of his head, but he's wearing like
helmet,
some sort of
covered in beads or something. Not beads. What do you call that? Embellishment, I guess. It looks neat. It's a neat helmet.
And the Indian is wearing like a green getup and a green turban with the...
Yes.
Is there a feather coming out the side?
I think there's just a jewel in the middle. Maybe there might be a feather. Okay. But this is a man from her picture, her friend who gave her the elephant.
Mm-hmm. And...
Wait, so his wife is beautiful. Nobody says laid eyes on her.
The squaw.
Yeah. Governor Odious dresses up as a pauper and goes to the door to beg. And for some reason, he has a bowl of water. A bowl of water so he could see her reflection. So he steals the squaw. She tries to escape, realizes there's no escape, so she commits suicide.
Well, he puts her into the labyrinth of despair.
Yes, I did read that. And she realizes there's no way out, so she commits suicide. So that's why the Indian wants revenge on Governor Odious.
And he also says the Indian, every time whenever he's nervous about something, he strokes his brow with his finger. Yes, so we are also getting Otobenga swears revenge on Governor Odious and then screams to the sky, ah!
Yeah, like I said at the beginning, all of them scream at the end.
Yeah, and the Indian does the same thing. They all scream like you when Mose doesn't put chicken in your burrito.
I think you already told the story. Nobody wants to hear this.
Now we get Luigi. Luigi is the man that Alexandria thought was a pirate.
Yes.
Roy's friend, who is a...
explosive expert.
Red-haired, mustachioed man.
You know what's so crazy? Even though I have no concept of what multiple people look like if I imagine somebody who was the ideal shape or look of a man back then, a grown man who looked like they had their life.
Yeah. He's like a big barrel-chested kind of guy. You could picture him wearing the shirt with the like a strong man.
Yeah, that's the word.
Kind of thing. Wearing like the singlet with the big barbell lifting up over his head. Yeah. So he doesn't have like a curly mustache. He has like the big, thick bar mustache.
I also wanted to point out, since you mentioned wiping the brow, jumping ahead a lot, but I don't want to forget it. At the end, when the film is being screened at the hospital, the Indian on camera wipes his brow. So it's like Roy is taking this from whatever film he was working on and integrating it into what he's telling Alexandra.
Got you jumping ahead and spoiling.
Please.
And Luigi's wearing a big, long yellow jacket that's got like a flame pattern on the back.
Yeah, this wardrobe designer was amazing.
And then we get the next... I didn't write down what Luigi's beef is with Odious.
Oh, so he is an explosive expert, and when Odious found out about it, he banished him for his skill because it was so powerful.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And upon his return, no one would talk to him. Yeah, it was punishable by death. And when he went to his priest to hear his confession, the priest wouldn't have him. Yeah. And that was the straw that brought the camel's back. I was like, he tripping.
Italians are very religious.
Then we get Charles Darwin. He's in this red and white and black coat that looks like a butterfly wing, basically.
And this is supposed to be the actual Charles Darwin, the naturalist.
Yeah. He has a monkey named Wallace.
And he's searching everywhere for the Americana exotica butterfly.
Yes. And Governor Odious sends him a dead one, so that's why he has beef with Odious. And at this point, we hear Alexandra say, Flutere? Yeah, it's her word for butterfly.
And you said his jacket?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like red, white, and black.
Which is exactly what I said.
Yes.
And I mentioned it looks like a butterfly wing.
It is like long fur.
Yes. The fibers are long. They drape off. Yeah. Like a long-haired dog, I guess you could say.
Yeah. And it's not entirely clear that the patterning on it is
you want
to be
butterfly?
like a butterfly. But there's a part later in the movie where
does he?
Where it shows him from the back and he lifts his arms and you can see.
Didn't even notice.
Very plainly the butterfly.
So I also like this transition. Roy mentions that the island they've been exiled to is the Butterfly Reef, and an image of a butterfly is sort of imprinted on top of the shape of the island, but even when it fades away, like the island really does appear to be in the shape of butterfly wings.
Or like a butterfly, like a full
Yes, a full butterfly. And he was like, so these buccaneers, and she's like, what's a buccaneer? He was like a pirate. Yeah, they're like a pirate. She was like, but I don't like pirate stories. He said, yes, you do. You asked for one. She says, no, I only wanted to know if the man you were with was a pirate because of his leg. He's like, oh. And then we meet the final main character, the masked bandit. He's Gaptooth. And she says, like my father. And he says, exactly.
And like her, because she's missing her 2 front teeth.
Yes.
Yeah, that was, as far as the production of the movie, once they found this little girl, that was when all the stops were brought out, because Tarsem was like, I need to film this while she's still a little girl. So that was when he contacted his brother and liquidated all of his assets and rushed everything to try to get the production underway. And I think he said it was like within 3 months of them finding her that they went. Well,
that contradicts with what I saw in the article, that once they found her, it was still another year after that because she had to learn English.
Okay, well, he could have been misremembering the chronology.
It was quick, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe the process of getting everything liquidated got started within 3 months. Or did you say filming started within 3 months? What'd you say? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, no.
So the masked bandit has a twin who we refer to as the Blue Bandit. They both escaped execution from Odious and was separated, but the twin brother got captured again. So now the masked bandit is like, I have to get off this island to save my brother. Wallace is making noises to Darwin. Apparently, the monkey has told Darwin that elephants can swim. So Darwin's like, then he changes his mind. He don't want to give the Wallace credit. He said, I have a plan.
I was just going to emphasize this is the starting point of little kid logic that gets implemented in Alexandria, imagining the story, is that Charles Darwin is a universal interpreter. He can understand and communicate to and from anybody, including the monkey. Yes.
That's funny. She's cute. So we get an image of Darwin putting a map in a box we see bugs in the box as well. Wallace says elephants.
Live bugs.
Yeah, they're crawling. Oh, and then we get the scene of them swimming with elephants, which is an elephant. Gorgeous. Scary. I wouldn't have been anywhere near. But
yes, you said why they're swimming with the elephant?
No, I haven't. And
it's
you
because
should,
the masked bandit can't swim. So all of them were fine. They could have left the island at any time, but they wouldn't because the masked bandit was unable to swim and they weren't going to leave him behind. But yes, then the monkey Darwin tells Wallace tells Darwin, yes, and then they are able to escape the island, putting the masked bandit on the elephant's back while all the rest of them just swim.
Yeah, around the elephant. So they get to wherever this other location is.
Just the mainland.
Yeah.
We'll say.
They're getting themselves together. There's a tree that has no leaves or anything. It just has branches at the top.
It's burned up.
Yeah. It catches on fire. We see something step out of it. This man is going to be known to us as a mystic. And he tells them that he's been sent to help because the region that they're in, it was once lush and full, beautiful, but it's been devastated by Odious.
The mystic is like inside of the tree.
Yes.
He like emerges from it and has dreads that are like woven into the burned parts of the tree.
Yeah.
And he is also covered in soot and char, which prompted you to ask if it was somebody doing blackface.
I couldn't remember that he's not doing blackface. He just happens to be not burnt up, the soot, like you said. Cause he's not in blackface later, so stick with it. He also says the birds are safe inside his belly. but we must take care as only the fittest will survive. So, surely that's Darwin, which I guess makes sense. I guess the...
Darwinism.
Yeah, no. In my mind, I'm dumb. In my mind, I was like, oh, the masked bandit must have got Darwin's books published later because we know him from saying survival of the fittest. Me forgetting that Darwin was a real person. Anyway, so they have a plan, we imagine, because the next thing we see is the scene with the steps. So on the background scenes, there were also goats running up and down the stairs, like right where they were going to be shooting. There's just so much going on on the scenes all the time. So Atabinga, he's holding up fish we see the henchmen now in their full outfits.
They're dressed like the X-Ray Man.
Yeah. He's holding up fish as a distraction. He's
saying, pescado, pescado.
The rest of them sneak up. I'm not going to go through the specifics. They're fighting, but this scene has a nice portion where the Indian is doing like a back bend and Atabinga is shooting his arrow. I thought it was neat.
Yes. So they're at the steps. The place where they're going to is the place where supposedly the Blue Bandit is. The brother is being held, or last known location, or the place where he had escaped to, supposedly.
It's where it's going to be executed.
Oh, okay.
This is the morning that they need to save him because the Indian brought news that tomorrow morning your twin brother is going to be executed by Governor Odious.
Okay. So, yeah, they make their way inside, but they're too late.
Well, so after they take out the few henchmen in the front, they're trying to get through a wooden door to the brother, and they look through the peephole, and they can see all the henchmen just not being thrown up in the air.
You just say the bad guys.
Why can't I say henchmen?
Because henchman is...
He even called them henchmen, but I was thinking that before that.
Okay, that's fine.
Telling me what the fuck to call them? Because henchman means what?
I don't know. I just associate it more with...
Gangsters?
Like James Bond.
You're bad. What, do you want to just call them bad guys?
Yeah.
Please. They see the bad guys.
I know a 5-year-old wouldn't be thinking the henchman.
No, she's thinking of X-Ray Man in a scary uniform. Want to say the X-Ray Man? That's what we're saying. Anyway, they look like they're getting tossed up, and they can see that the mystic is standing on top of them, like whatever magical powers he has. He was able to slay them, no problem.
Killed everybody. He's standing on a pile of X-Ray men.
So they say the bandit, apologize to me for saying the mystic was only going to slow us down. Tell him he's welcome to join our, I don't want to call it a crusade, but their mission. And this is when you also see Darwin doing those crazy sign language hand movements.
And this is, it's not like, oh, he's doing sign language and I just don't know sign language.
It's obviously
it's that he's just doing random gesticulation with his hands and moving around, but in the little girl's mind, everything is understood between.
So I love
he is the universal interpreter.
Where the humor comes from in this story, like stuff like that, stuff from the characters saying stuff out loud, and just also the misinterpretation she has while talking to Lee Pace. Like, it's all very cute and funny. So they're like, oh, we got to go save your brother. And so everybody disperses, but then the bandit turns and says, first, a little test. And then we get Alexander. She's like, what? It's like he's interrupted the movie, Roy, the tale, the epic, to ask her to do something. So he was like, I only want to see if I need you to touch my toes. So go outside of the curtain, which we didn't mention. A lot of times when he's talking to her and telling her the story, the curtain around Roy's bed is drawn to give them privacy. Mm-hmm. And I read that at times they cut holes in the sheet to be able to film without intruding. Mm-hmm. So he sends her out to touch the toes. So touches the little toe. She says, I'm touching your little toe. He says, no, you can't tell me what toe you're touching. This is part of the game. Like we mentioned, if we didn't, he's paralyzed. So he's trying to see if any feeling has come back in his foot. So she touches another toe and he guesses. He says, are you touching my big toe? And then she moves her finger to his big toe. She says, yes, I'm touching your big toe. He says, are you telling the truth? She says, no. He says, you're not telling the truth? She says, yeah. No, I tell it. It's so cute. But she is lying. Clearly, she just wants him to finish the story, and she can sense that it's supposed to be the big toe.
And she also, it's not that she's lying, it's that she doesn't understand the point of what he's trying to do.
Okay, sorry. That's a better interpretation, actually.
Yes. So then she comes back inside the curtain, and
this is when, are you telling the truth? And I feel like to punish her a little bit. You don't think so? He has the brother. He's like, they're too late. The brother's been tortured and hung. I'm like, oh my God. And this is a neat shot as well. The brother's body has like been turned into a human chandelier. And the score is very intense. Is this also Beethoven? But apparently they had a cast made of a Oompa Loompa for the shape of the chandelier. Something crazy.
A cast made.
Made.
Okay. Yeah. It's not just the brother. It's a bunch of bodies.
Okay, good. I was like,
yeah, it's a configuration.
Separate his body into pieces. Okay.
They must have had like contortionists all.
I just told you what it was. Cast of a body.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
Unless I'm misinterpreting it.
I don't know. And
you might be right. I don't know, but I didn't see that.
They don't say it, but the way that it looks like they've been skinned alive.
Mm-hmm. I don't look that closely, I guess. I just said human chandelier. Is it red? There is a lot of red, I guess.
It said it said they had already been tortured and killed.
Yeah, tortured and hung.
Brother and his main had already been tortured and hung.
So now Walt, which is another patient, he interrupts. He draws the curtain back.
He's on the bed like across the room from Roy. And this guy, he's well cast because you don't like him right away. We've already seen him once before this, I think, just entering into the room before
yesterday,
and he just looks annoying on sight.
He was originally the Governor Odious.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And then Tarsem said he had that idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So Walt interrupts, and he's like, "This isn't the place to be fooling around, making noise." I don't know, but he sort of lunges towards Alexandria. Roy grabs his robe collar and says, "Leave her alone." And in the scuffle, the necklace that Walt had on his neck, it has a key on it, and it's fallen to the ground. And then Alexandria runs away.
She runs out. She goes outside. She goes across the property to the chapel. She sneaks in there. They're having a church service, and she's peeking in through a cracked door and watching.
Curtain. It's like a curtain.
Yeah, watching the priest give the Eucharist to the people there attending the Mass, I'm assuming. If you don't know what the Eucharist is, it's basically a little circular wafer that's supposed to represent the body of Christ that's given as a sacrament in certain Christian denominations. She watches that happen, and then she goes into the sacristy and she opens up a drawer and finds a whole drawer full of them.
Yeah.
She steals one out of there and then comes running back across.
A couple, probably.
Yeah, probably a couple. And then comes back to Roy's room.
She passes Walt and his family, and Walt smashes the shit out of his son upside the head. I was like, yeah. When she goes into the ward that Roy is staying on, we see the old man. His teeth are in a cup. Mm-hmm. His dentures are in a cup. And Roy apologizes to her for shouting. And she says it's okay. And then she offers him part of the Eucharist. And he says, "Are you trying to save my soul?" Does she say yeah or no?
He says, "What do you got there?" And she goes, "Food."
Yeah, from chapel.
And then she takes a bite of it and then hands it to him.
Yeah.
And yeah, he says, "Are you trying to save my soul?" She has no fucking idea what he's talking about. And she's like, "What? What?"
Yeah, it's cute.
What this means.
Uh-huh. And then she asks why the old man keeps his teeth in a glass. And Roy says it's where he keeps his strength. And he looks at her mouth. And of course, she's missing her two front teeth. He's like, "Oh, you're missing a little strength there too." I'll keep mentioning teeth because it'll come back into play once more. So he says the chapel's in the main block, isn't it, where they keep the medicine? And she says, mm-hmm. And as she's listening to him talk, she's like just swinging her foot. And her foot kicks the table and coffee spills.
Yeah, his little bedside table.
Mm-hmm. So he has a napkin, and this is where I guess he's finally decided to formulate a plan because he looks like he has a little evil smirk, and how he has a napkin to place on top of the spilled coffee is, I don't want to say menacing, but you can tell you're supposed to feel some unrest.
Music maybe cueing you a little bit.
And his face, but yes, surely. So another nice transition I like to point out. He's pressing the napkin on the coffee, and then in the epic, we get him pressing his hand on his brother's face or body, and the blood red is spreading.
This is another reason why I think they were skinned.
Okay. So this thing is like 60 to 80 feet high is what I found. It was really neat. Strong imagery.
So what the brother's body is wrapped in a cloth, and as he's pressing into it, you see it soaking up more and more of the blood, and as the shot pulls out wider, we see that it's not just a wrapped body, it's a piece of white linen that, yes, goes 80 feet high on some sort of
posts. They're very thick wooden.
Yeah, it's just a huge wooden frame, and the white linen goes all the way to the top, and the blood is soaking from the body like up through the bottom, which if you've ever done that once upon a time where you put like food coloring in water and then you hold a paper towel and do it and
it's
see
like that image.
The
color travel. I wonder if that's where he got that idea. That's neat. So she interrupts really quickly. She says, why does he speak like this? Because he has been speaking with an accent, the masked bandit. And he said, he speaks like your father. She's like, my father's dead. He's like, what? How do you want him to speak? She was like, normal, like you. So this, in the epic, is where the original bandit we saw is now Roy.
Yeah. He's previously being played by the man who was the actor playing her father in the photograph that she showed Roy.
So now we get Roy screaming out, I will destroy him. And his voice is echoing. And with every echo, the camera pulls back. And he says,
see the full scope of
yes. And he says, and every Spanish thing. And she was like, I thought he was Spanish. And he says, no, he was French. And you can see her imagination correcting, or Roy's too. And the guy sticks up, what is his French sign?
He sticks up, well, he's got the blood, his brother's blood on his hands. And he just, I don't know.
I thought he was like, no, he's French. I thought it was something French about it. I guess we could have looked it up. But.
Yeah. And it's very funny acting on Lee Pace's part. There are so many moments within her imagination of what's going on where the way that they act plays party to the fact that it's a kid imagining it. Yeah, so you can see by the look on Roy's face is like this kind of a false confidence of like, I am the character now.
Yeah. It's neat.
Now they're trying to figure out where they need to go next. They ask Darwin where they're supposed to go. He pulls the map out and it's been eaten up by all the bugs in his box.
Yeah, Luigi's like, I told him not to keep the map in there. I also want to point out this scenery is good too. They're each like on a separate rocky, I don't know what you want to call it.
They're all rocky each on like a platform.
Yeah, so they're talking back and forth, and Roy's, as the bandit, is screaming, Darwin, which way? But eventually the mystic snatches the bug-eaten map and eats it. And Darwin's like, you can't eat that, it's poisonous. The mystic starts speaking his language, and apparently it tells him to follow.
Interpreting it.
Yeah, follow him to greener pastures. He's going to guide the way, and the birds in his belly crave greener pastures.
And then they're in a desolate-looking area, and then as the mystic starts running, we find that there's this lush oasis of green terrain kind of down in a little valley away from where they were at, and that's what he's running towards.
I don't know if this was also the documentary plan, but it looked like the green place was legit right behind the rocky area.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't two shots put together, but maybe I just saw what I wanted to see. But it feels sort of like we're floating on top of the grass. It's some long, luscious grass. It's like blowing in the wind. It's gorgeous, color green. Is that not what like a rice paddy field is shaped like? Do you know what I mean? With those, they're not hills, but they're different levels.
Yeah, it's kind of tiered down.
Yeah, that's it.
So now we get the Baraka sequence.
Yeah, the tribesmen, I guess, doing a ritual.
And Darwin is calling out. He's like, don't run. The run makes the poison work faster.
So yeah, the tribesmen appear, the mystic sort of sinks down and they catch his body. And I really love this song. It had a nice little beat. It was great. Yeah. They're covered in mud. They showed the Becks.
Yeah. And again, there's a conductor at the front who's kind of cueing all of the people who are arranged around. They're all kind of sitting in lotus position with their legs crossed on the ground, and they're all in rows, kind of concentric semicircles, ranging out from where the conductor is standing and where the mystic is laying down. And they're doing this chant where they're like putting their hands straight in the air and moving their hands around and kind of vibrating them and moving their fingers. And then with each cue from the conductor, he's like, back. And they start moving their hands like to the left and right and front and forward. And they start leaning forward, and they're all moving in unison. And it looks like an organism, like a collective organism moving. And it's all to the cues of the chant, and it's going nonstop and increasing in intensity. And while that's happening, it's cross-cutting with suddenly the mystic's body, the map is appearing on it.
Yes, it looks so neat.
And Darwin, since he's the universal language interpreter, is like, oh, they're saying directions. They're telling us directions on how to get there. So as they're going, back, and he's feverishly writing down where they're supposed to go.
He's like drawing the like trees or mountains, whatever they would pass on their way.
Yeah. So now all of this is being cross-cut with the imagery from all over the world, like pyramids, the
Eiffel Tower. I swear.
Yeah.
That's Carthage. What is it called? What's the?
Oh, I don't know. Colosseum?
Walls? Maybe.
Carthage? I don't know.
Okay. That's where we saw
Great Wall of China.
I was going to say, I think we saw the Great Wall of China. Neat scene. So they get to where they're going. They see slaves. It's not a carriage. What do you call this thing? A carriage makes it seem small, and it's
like
not
a
small.
caravan. It's
caravan.
Huge.
It's red, flying Otis's flag.
Yeah.
And the wheel turners, they're barefoot. I thought this was a neat scene, like the spokes coming out of the wheel. They're like climbing it to give it power.
So the wheels have bars coming out like a hamster wheel, but there are people in there that are
one
running.
Person per wheel.
Yeah.
One boy per wheel.
Yeah, a person in each wheel, and they're all climbing around to help run this. And there's also, it's horses pulling it as well, right?
The people? It might be some horses, but the people, there are a shit ton of people in different lines pulling the rope or the chain, whatever's pulling it.
Oh. Well, in one of the interviews that I watched with Lee Pace, he was talking about this, where they filmed this was up in the Himalayan mountains, and they had to climb to, it's like a mountain desert where they filmed it. And that originally Tarsem wanted an elephant up there too, but it was too high of an elevation for them to figure out how to get an elephant up there. But they got all the people, and I don't know, he said that was one of the most sensational locations that they went to.
Nice. So, out of Binga, he says, we must free the slaves. And as they're riding, the masked bandit, Roy, he turns towards the camera and to us. And he says, tell me, Alexandria, do you read English? And she's like, oh, you always stop at the same part where it's the most beautiful. And what else does she say? She says one more word. Interesting. Anyway, it's so neat.
This reminded me of your uncanny ability to
what? Oh.
If you're not watching it
what
with
you're watching, anything.
That you will just suddenly appear when it is at the height of climactic action, right at the very end. Yes.
That's funny. Well, you say I have a child like mine.
Full of wonder.
So he has a piece of paper and he says, what's this? She says, paper. He says, no, what's this? And he's pointing at whatever he wrote on the paper, and she spells it out. She says MORPH, and I think they skipped the IN, and he points at the E he wrote. And she says 3 because of the way he drew it, even though it's just her not remembering which way a 3 goes, like it's drawn the correct way. And just, it was apparently that happened, and they added it to the story beat. And yeah, Tarsem was like a improvisation like that came about from that. So we actually added it. What are you about to say?
No, I was just going to expound on that. Is that, yes, her saying 3, what it changed into was, well, we should finish it and then, explain.
So he tells her he's having a hard time sleeping and I can't remember the story. These pills will help. They're in the main block. And she's like, just ask the head nurse. They'll give them to you. And he says, I'm asking you as a friend. She says, it's stealing. He says, no, not if you need it. It's no different than you taking bread from the church. And she really doesn't take much. She doesn't need much convincing. She says, I'll get them for you. He says, it's a bandit secret. And she says, I'll do it. So got that secured right quick.
So now she's with Nurse Evelyn.
Uh-huh.
Why do you put bread on your cheeks?
Yeah, she's putting lipstick on her cheeks. She says it makes you...
She's pinching her fingers on the top of the lipstick and then pinching her own cheeks and rubbing it in like blush.
She says it makes you look healthy and something else.
Makes you look beautiful and healthy.
Well, she calls her beautiful too. She says you're beautiful. She says that to Nurse Evelyn. So she comes out running again. Then I think I hear the nurse say again, be back by lunch. The Iceman, ice transporter. He says, no licking ice today, Alexandria. She says, no, thank you. You can tell she's on a mission.
Mm-hmm.
She sneaks into the dispensary. She's reciting MORPHIN 3 while she's looking for the bottle. And she does get it. She has to climb up onto a multi-level.
There's a little step ladder to so this is a old-timey setup. So it's like drawers that you would pull out at the base. So I don't know how you would describe it. It's like the length of the entire wall is the piece of furniture. And so underneath are cabinets and drawers and stuff. And there's a little step ladder in front of that can be moved along the length of this wall. Mm-hmm. Then there's a ledge. And then above that are the shelves with all the medicine on it. Like, it's almost like a library kind of.
It looks like all those bottles and stuff. What do you mean, like a library?
I'm just saying, like,
how big the shelf
with
is?
the ladder on the rails that would go around, but
except it doesn't go up the height yet. Okay. They have a museum at that hospital. It's in Valkenburg, Cape Town, South Africa. So I'm like, I wonder if that's just all the stuff that's been there.
So yeah, she goes up the stepladder onto the first shelf or the ledge, and then is standing on that on her tiptoes to reach the shelf with the morphine on it. And it's a old-timey glass bottle that just says morphine sulfate real big with a little cork stopper in the top.
So as she's getting this, the doorknob rattles. So a nurse is coming back. So she manages to get out of that room, and as she's running away, she like turns a corner to get into a side room.
And it's also bad little kid hiding. Like she presses herself against the wall, but like her whole head is visible in a window to another room. Yeah.
So she's watching a woman, and this woman is shaking her son's foot. She's like pinching a toe.
Well, the doctor's still in there at first. She turns around because she hears the woman like moaning.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
So the doctor says,
you need to teach your other kids about learn the rattlesnake sound.
Warn your other children about rattlesnake pits. And so he walks out, and the woman's shaking her son's foot, begging him to get up. He's foaming at the mouth. She says, get up, or they'll chop you. And I guess she notices Alexandria, and she turns at her and she hisses. I was like, oh my God. I was really nervous the first time I saw that. I didn't know what was happening. So that scares her.
Yes, it does scare the shit out of her.
It scares her because the next thing we see, she's at the top of a stair landing, and it's wet beside her.
Yeah.
We see the old man. He like bypasses a wet spot, so we can assume she's peed in her pants.
Happens to me all the time. Or he doesn't say it happens.
Yes, he does.
He says it all the time.
All the time. Okay. What you have to do is change your clothes and hide the wet ones until they're dry.
Yeah.
And then he says,
and it's like a big puddle of piss.
Yeah. Bless her. So he says, when I'm frightened, I just say the magic words, googly, 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 be gone. And then he says, say the magic words. In another transition I appreciate. She's saying the words, except this time she's sitting in front of Roy saying the words. And so she says, googly, googly, go away.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't look amused at all. He says, "Did you get what I sent you for?" She hands him the bottle. There's only 3 in there. He's like, "Wasn't this full? What'd you do with the rest of them?" She says, "I threw them in the toilet because you wrote the 3."
What really happens?
What do you mean what really happens?
He says, what's this? There's only 3 pills in here. What happened to the rest of them? And then he's like, "Was this bottle full?" And he's like, "What happened to the rest of them?" And she said, "I throw them in the toilet."
Why do you think that's any different from what I just said? Why did you say that's what really happens?
Because he says there's only 3 in here. Like, he calls that out. He doesn't say, "Was this a full bottle?" He doesn't say that until. And
that really changed the story, huh?
It does.
Jesus
it
fucking
does.
Christ.
It changes the beats of it. So yes, Tarsem latched on to her saying the 3 and thinking, oh, how much more upset would Roy be if he discovers that the pill bottle was full and she got rid of all of them but the 3. And he's right. I mean, it creates that fundamental, like, the relief and excitement that he feels thinking she actually did it and brought it back. And then knowing that it was just a little kid misunderstanding that screwed up his whole plan. Yeah, of course he would lose his mind, and he does lose his mind.
So she says, "Will they help you sleep?" He said, "A nap, perhaps." And then we can hear Ata Binga's voice say, "We must free the slaves." And then she asks, "Did they free the slaves?" So we get images of the bandit crew riding the horses down. And the Indian is hitting the chains with his sword to free the slaves. And I was like, surely you can't just hit chains with the sword. So I love YouTube. There's this guy called Scalagram. He sounds like whatever accent Alexander Skarsgård has. He has a whole channel dedicated to ancient weapons and stuff. So I'm sure this was just a replica, but he's trying to break a chain with the sword. He tries different ones and they all just get bent up.
Cling.
Yeah, and the
Cling.
chain, sometimes it goes down into the stump because he's hitting to get something. But he was saying he wanted to try it because the film Conan the Barbarian, well, he sees it in other stuff, but that happens in Conan the Barbarian. I'll make sure I include him in the show notes too. So they free the slaves. They all draw their guns onto the door of the caravan. Backing up a little bit before they are drawing their weapons at the door. I can't believe I forgot this because I love this little shot. Luigi shoots one of the bad guys and he does a backflip off of the horse, and the what do you call that? The Foley sounds, whatever that's added that sounds like the bones breaking. Mm-hmm. We both reacted to it watching the movie like it sounds what you imagine it to sound like.
I had a note that said "man falls off horse," but I couldn't remember what was special about it.
I refreshed your memory good. So yeah, they're all drawn, but a little boy comes out instead, and we find out that Otis' fiance is also inside of the caravan. The bandit turns around really quick and puts on the mask, and Alexandra asks, "Why the mask?" And he says because he doesn't want her to see his face, but he knows everything about her. He says her favorite food, she says orange. The color of her eyes, she says brown. And her favorite book, she says the Bible. So we can see that what she's imagining is now Nurse Evelyn. And then she asks, "What about the bomb?" And we see Luigi pitch the end of the, what do you call that? Not a fire stick. What you call it, little?
Dynamite?
Yeah, but the cord itself that like is hanging out of it, like all together, is the dynamite. Fuse. That's the word.
We should describe to the mask that the masked bandit wears is this
very simple,
like a thick rectangle, but it's red. Mm-hmm. So it's very distinct. It's kind of like a Lone Ranger eye mask only, but it's hard angles. It's not like form fit around the eyes.
So Luigi pinches out the fuse, and as they're riding off, a priest comes out. It's the priest she's been throwing oranges at, but he has that dumb priest haircut, and I finally
like the monk, like the Friar Tuck monk is the haircut you're talking about.
I finally looked it up because it's also in The Fifth Element, and yeah, with Chris Tucker in it. It cracks me up. So it's called tonsure, and it's a practice of cutting or shaving some or all of the hair on the scalp as a sign of religious devotion. or humility, but it's a god awful fucking haircut.
Yeah, so it's like the top of the dome is totally shaved, and then it's like the page boy bob long around the perimeter.
Yeah. So the priest screams the name Darwin, and Luigi says, ignore the priest, Darwin. And then the priest has a stick.
He's got a scowl on his face, yes. And it's clear that Roy is trying to paint him as a bad guy. And then Alexandria interrupts and is like, oh, the priests are good. Priests are so good. He
says, of course everyone knows the priest is good. This stick is for a snake. And he hits the snake. And apparently the priest has been chaperoning the princess and her nephew, and they were on the way to a wedding. I do want to add, do you recall this stick snake part being in the parts you saw? Being in the film you saw?
No.
Yeah. It is the part that got added to the re-release.
Okay.
But what were you going to say?
I believe that, but it also would be relying on my memory from almost 20 years ago, 18 years ago.
So next we go.
No, I did not remember it.
Next we go to a palace in the middle of the lake. We see Evelyn. Well, actually, we don't know that we know the audience knows that it's Evelyn, but I'm guessing Roy doesn't quite know it's Evelyn yet.
Roy doesn't know that she's picturing this character as Nurse Evelyn.
Okay, so the character is looking down and she sees the Indian. He pulls out a piece of fabric and covers his eyes. And the masked lady asks the bandit, why does the Indian do that? And he tells them about
his vow to never lay his eyes or his gaze upon another squaw.
And she asks who he is, and he says the masked bandit. She says the scourge of the southeast, and he says that's the one. It was cute. But that's only when I wear the mask. He says, who are you? And so she opens her. It's shaped like a fan, actually, the little piece that's over her face.
Yeah, like a paper fan.
Yeah.
But with the flat part across the brow.
Yes,
and it's opening down to cover her
right.
face. Yeah.
And he says, Nurse Evelyn. And she's sneezing, or she sounds like she has almost a runny nose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and she says, like, yes, Lady Evelyn Everest Everhart.
Yeah, but now I like to be called, is it sister?
Yeah, she says, like, I was a nun, and then...
Well, no, talking about Alexandra. She was like, she says, not sister. She doesn't have brothers and sisters. And Roy is like, no, like the nuns here. So yeah, at this point, Evelyn is also acting like she has to pee in the tail.
Yeah.
And we cut to Alexandra, and she's also holding her hands down there like she has to pee.
Roy tells her that she should go to the bathroom.
Yeah, take two turns to the right and go to the bathroom. Evelyn says, but I'm looking like I live this devoted life, but I secretly love throwing oranges at priests. And this upsets Alexandra. She says, you read my note. He says, no, everybody knows you love throwing oranges at the priest, and it's not because of your gibberish note. And then I realized that I was like, wait, is this lady supposed to be a nun because of an upcoming scene we'll see? But I'm guessing you're smart, so you know this.
I think it was just...
that the word nun and sister can't actually be used interchangeably. You know the difference?
I don't actually know. But yes, nuns are called sisters.
Yeah. So an apostolic sister.
Apostolic.
Damn! Shut up! Apostolic. So apostolic sister, you don't call a nun. So they take vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. Their initial vows are most commonly temporary, lasting a period of no less than 3 years. And I was like, oh, Evelyn must be in that little temporary period because she be hunching. Anyway, I just want to get that out there.
I think the Catholic Church has made it pretty clear that just because people take vows doesn't mean that they live by them.
So that ends the story there for the day. And the next scene we get is Alexandria's family has come, her mom and her sister. And she's having to translate between the mom and the doctor.
This is, I love this
little Go ahead.
Exchange. I don't have any notes for it, but it's just, it highlights what a great casting decision it was to have this Katinka playing Alexandria, because the doctor is relying on her to be the interpreter for her mom. So she's interpreting from Romanian to English to the doctor, and then in turn interpreting English to Romanian to her mom. But it becomes very clear after a few back and forths that she's really just trying to mitigate people getting upset.
Yeah.
And telling each side what they want to hear to end the conversation.
But she's not.
And the
sneaky.
doctor,
like the way she does it, like it's very obvious that she's doing it. Like she might think she's doing a good job, but it's very obvious.
And the doctor calls her. He's like, that's not what she said, Alexandria. She asked me a question, didn't she? And she's like, no, that's how we talk.
Yeah, it's cute. But apparently the mom wants to know how much longer she has to stay. The doctor says the cast is going to come off in a few days, but he wants her to stay until she's completely recovered. The mom, we think, is saying that she's been there too long. We need to leave the city. The doctor says you shouldn't be working at the Groves because surely you're going to fall, and next time it will be a bad fall. He says tell her that. She lies, and it looks like she translated to say something about the basket of muffins that the mom has because the mom like sheepishly offers him one. Alexandra meets her sister's eyes, so maybe the sister knows a little English as well because she's like, that ain't what's happening. And we can also see Alexandra working on a picture. So after that little scene, we now see some sisters/nurses giggling, and we see someone who appears as a movie star. It's the same guy we saw at the first scene who was talking to the girl who wears the locket.
By first scene, you mean the very opening of the movie,
opening
the black and white.
Yes. He's autographing some pictures. We get Alexandra saying beautiful machine. Is she singing a song?
She's singing beautiful machina. Beautiful machina. I don't know. I don't remember the melody of it.
Okay.
But she's just saying over and over again in a sing-songy voice, beautiful machina, beautiful machina.
So we see also the girl with the locket from the opening scene. She's crying in a very nice car. Alexandra stops and she just smiles at her. And the girl smiles back, but she's still crying. We then go into Roy's room and we overhear somebody talking to him. He's saying it's a generous offer. He has some papers. If you look here, it's more than I make at the studio in a whole year. Roy says, I want to add something to it. The man's like, don't be adding anything to this. He said, just add the screening. He asks what happens to the money if he dies. And the man's like, you need to get off the suicide kick. Then we go back out to the hallway with the movie star. He has a sidekick with him. And he's saying now all the cowhands are getting all the glory. Whose idea was it for him to do the stunt? The problem is not his back. It's his heart. He's not the first man to lose a girl. He needs to get over it. Mm-hmm. And he made a little paper mask.
Mm-hmm. And he gives it to Alexandria.
Yeah. And then transition I like. She now has a mask on and she's looking at Roy. She hands him a piece of paper and she says, I made this for you.
Made this for you.
She was like, it's you. The one in the mask in the wheelchair or something to that effect. And he says, it's beautiful. Oh, and then this little part broke my heart. She was like, I hope I never get better. He was like, why?
That to me is the sweetest part, is her delivering that line.
She says, because I want to stay here with you.
Now, with that, would you have understood what she meant if she hadn't said the second part?
Because I want to stay here with you?
If she just said, I don't know, I never get better.
But she said it so nice, in a nice way. Maybe. I feel like I would have intuited it. Why? No.
I don't think you would have.
Why are you asking me that? Did it get added later?
No.
Are you just thinking I wouldn't have understood?
I'm just thinking.
Why?
Please, because you always, I need you to connect this. What does that mean? What does that mean?
It's so.
No.
Okay. I want to say a word, but I don't know if I'm using the right word.
If I called in sick from work and I was laying down on the couch and like had a thermometer in my mouth and you brought me a cup of tea and I said, I hope I never get better, you'd be like, you would have been like Roy and you'd be like, why?
Okay. Yeah, but why are you telling me that? Because I'm bringing you stuff? Why are you saying it? No, that's a different situation. Yes. Documentary footage. She also made a little card to give to him. I don't know. This looked like they were going over the storyboard. I was like, oh, how sweet. She actually really liked him in real life as well. So he reaches over to, it looks like a gift basket or something that's on his little side table. And he says, this came for you today. And it's a chocolate bar. He's like, you like chocolate? And she says, yeah. She's licking her lips. He was like, you want me to finish the story, don't you? And she says, yeah. He was like, where our friend Walt. And she says, that's not my friend. Then he changes it. It's not my friend either. He's not my friend either. He was like, he's been stealing stuff from me. I need you to be a good bandit and to go to his little table by his bed and get back what he's stolen from me.
I don't want to be a bandit.
Yeah. He was like, oh, that's too bad. I know you're leaving soon and they're going to go to a big blue city next. And it's the best part of the story. I know you don't want to miss it. So that convinces her. She's also, we skipped it, but she asked like, what kind of stuff is he stealing? He's like, my stuff. So she opens it. And of course, it's a bottle of morphine.
He says straight up like he's been stealing my pills.
Yeah. But she asks about what other stuff. And he says stuff that belongs to me. So she opens it. She grabs the morphine bottle. And he's like, yeah, that's it. That's mine. She says, you promised to finish the story? He says, yeah. So we get back to the story. It's the Black Bandit with Evelyn, and we see a blue city. You know about this. You look like you're ready to tell me.
Went there, and he gave the people in the city fresh paint.
Yeah. And due to religious reasons, the houses can only be painted blue. So, yeah, it was, I guess, brighter than it would have been.
To make it look more vibrant on screen, yeah. And you can see when it shows the entire landscape, you can see the difference in the shades of blue versus what's foregrounded where the actors are versus the rest of the city where it's more faded and discolored.
So yeah, we get footage of Roy with Evelyn, and as he's taking the pills, he's saying you need to leave. And Alexandra says, but you promised to tell me the story. And he says, well, when I fall asleep, you gotta go and don't come back tomorrow. I'm sorry about this, which is also into the epic now. And he's saying, I'm sorry about this to Evelyn. Alexandra says why, Evelyn says why, and he says, I don't want you to see me like this. And now here's where the music or the song starts mimicking the dialogue, or vice versa. That
this
Evelyn
was your
is saying.
Favorite part.
Why are you saying this is my favorite part? I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite.
You were humming along.
No, I wasn't.
And so, yeah, Evelyn says, you think you took me captive, and then
You think you took me captive. I like it. It's a nice song. I'm telling you.
You think you took me captive.
Everything she says, it's neat.
But in fact, you are my savior.
You wrote it all down?
No, just those 2 lines.
So Alexandria is like, make them kiss. And he says, no, I don't want to make them kiss. She says, why? He's like, because what they're about to find out. So all of the bandit gang is on top of like a rooftop. Darwin's sketching drawing of Wallace. Everybody's just lazing about. And they're talking about their plans, saying they shouldn't have brought Evelyn along because it's going to be dangerous. And then they mentioned the name Odious, and she hops up. She's like, did you say Odious? They're like, yeah. She was like, that's my fiance. And then they all look, and she does this dramatic faint.
Now she's tied up for execution.
Yes. I like this shot too. So there's a reflection of the palace in the water, and Ada Binga walks through it and breaks it up, the reflection. But the behind the footage scenes, like right off to the side during the whole time, is hot as fuck, I guess. A dog is submerged in the water with just his head sticking out, and he's watching the scene. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen. And even when the gun noise or whatever they shoot goes off, he's like, but he doesn't bark. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, she's tied to a post. Luigi or one of the other bandit gang is trying to put a blindfold over her eyes.
Yeah.
And she says to Roy, no, I want to look at you until I die. I was like, oh. He's like, this world's a mystery. One day you love him. The next you want to kill them 1,000 times over. I'm glad I never kissed you.
He's saying that like as he's pointing the pistol and preparing to shoot.
He's not looking at her while he fires a shot. Alexandra says she can't die. And then all of a sudden we hear her making, what is it, like a gasp from the impact of the bullet or whatnot? Mm-hmm. So she's still alive. Luigi walks over. He says a solid gold locket. It stopped the bullet. And of course, this is the locket that
Roy gave his real life girl.
Well, that we've seen the girl wearing, yeah. So Luigi opens it and he starts reading this long ass message. It says, to my daughter, never marry for money, fame, power, or security. always follow your heart. Roy says, I say all that on that little behind locket. They were like, yeah. She's like, nobody's ever been able to open it. Only you.
Roy as the masked bandit.
Yes. So he's falling asleep. Like you can see him getting drowsy. And she says, Alexandra, she's like, kiss. He's like, yes, but first, marriage. So he whooshes his hand. I don't know how to describe that. But it's in line with, I love this scene as well. These people in big white costumes twirling around.
Yeah, they're all dressed like clergymen.
Yeah.
Kind of from the church. Big flowing white robes. This also was taken from Baraka.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And yes, they're all spinning.
Choreographed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's peaceful sound. It starts out peaceful. It's just like, you could just hear them twirling in the wind. And Evelyn now has on a different costume. It's a very beaded headpiece and it dangles over her face. It's gorgeous. Everybody's gathered around the bandit gang, in the middle of these people twirling. And the mystic is looking. Darwin is interpreting that the mystic says, this is poisonous. You've taken too many pills. Danger is near. Suicide is not the answer. And he also knows something about a secret chant. Googly something.
And then the music in the background starts going googly.
But not fast like that. It's so neat. And I love the camera as it's circling around them as this is happening. It's great. And it turns out the priest, does he hit Roy over the head?
I don't think he does anything. It just
or maybe something
zooms in on him making that face.
Something menacing happens, but yeah, they zoom in on the priest making the
betrayed
face.
Them.
Yeah, and this another nice transition. So the priest's face.
Now this is the best transition of the entire movie.
Okay.
It goes to the close up on the stony faced priest had betrayed them. Closes in on the priest. He's making this evil smirking face with kind of like his forehead down. And it transitions so cleanly into a desert landscape with the five of them foregrounded and they're tied up. And the landscape it looks exactly like the priest's face.
Yeah.
And they said it took 3 days to set that shot up. Like testing it with a crane and then doing the tracks in the sand and getting everything situated the right way so that it would look like the priest's face from the wide shot and then it would crane in and track closer.
I know it sounds so cliche to say breathtaking, but like it's nice.
Yeah. And like in Ebert's
beautiful
assessment of it, his write-up of it whenever it came out, or whenever he was party to the release and finally saw it, was that there is no other movie like it and there will not be another one made like it. Gosh. And I struggle to liken it to anything else. Even if recently we saw Megalopolis, and that was another Francis Ford Coppola funded that himself. He spent $100 million of his own money to make that and was able to do whatever he wanted. But even that, like an ultra visionary, like it doesn't have the same level of impact. It is cool that he did it untethered from any studio interference, but didn't, I don't know, the impact made by what he did with this globe trotting to all these exotic locations is
amazing.
Yeah, bigger than some goofy, what the fuck is the word I'm looking for? Satire.
But you mentioned Francis Ford Coppola, and there were some sound stages, I think it was in Romania, that Tarsem had planned to use for the movie, but they were all rented out by him filming something else.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so then the decision was absolutely set to only film on location.
Yeah, they're all tied up. They're showing their sun-cracked skin and dried, peeling lips, and they've got sores. They're all... One of the X-ray men is holding Otabenga's upside-down helmet full of water right in front of him and shaking it around so the water spills out right near his mouth.
And I would like to say it's becoming obvious that Alexandria is taking over the storytelling now, or at least her imagination, because Roy's very sleepy. Mm-hmm. And we'll see that because the ice block, one of the henchmen also has an ice block that he sat down and he's licking it. He's enjoying it.
Yeah, licking it just like he does, or she does.
And so Alexandria goes, and then they were saved. Roy says there was no one left to save them.
Yes.
And then we get a close-up of the bag, or not a close-up, but a shot of the bag, and it's wriggling, and Alexandria hops out of the bag that, maybe it was Darwin's bag that he's been toting. Somebody's bag.
It was Luigi's bag, his bag of explosives.
Yeah, he says no wonder the bag was so heavy.
Yeah.
So she goes around untying everybody.
She's dressed up like Roy, like the masked bandit. She's wearing the same little mask and the same getup.
Yeah.
Which is cute. Akin to like a matador almost.
Mm. Well, I don't know what they look like,
except he's got these big like billowing
culotte
pants and then a vest
with some gold embellishments.
Yeah, that looks like a matador's outfit, but sleeveless, like a vest style.
Which plays into him being Spanish at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she puts a gun into Roy's hand.
And this is like a wooden gun.
Oh, yeah. So he's standing up. He's drowsy. He's like rocking. She's like, shoot them, daddy. Shoot them. Shoot them.
Shoot them, daddy.
He can't focus. So the henchmen get away. I don't know why they wouldn't turn around and still attack him, but
and she goes and runs around and like is one pull untying the ropes that are tying everybody up. She frees everybody, like not just Roy, but when she does Roy as the masked bandit, she puts the gun in his hand too.
Mm-hmm. So they get away because he can't shoot, and so Roy, he doesn't collapse, but he sits back down, and she kisses him on the cheek, and she says, "Don't you recognize me? I'm your daughter. It's me, your daughter." And he says, my daughter from a previous marriage. I didn't recognize you because of your teeth. And so because shooting had gone on so long, her teeth had came back. I thought that was so neat to make sure you remember to include that in case somebody was like, wait. And he was like, you must be stronger. And Alexandra's like, not the time to sleep now. So in the story and in real life, she's trying to wake Roy up. She's stroking his face. She gives him a kiss. She pulls at his face. In the epic, she's making faces at him to try to get his attention, and nothing's working.
Sticking her tongue out.
Yeah. So she realizes she can't wake him up. So she gets up to leave. She puts the picture that she drew for him into his basket. And then she opens his wallet, and we can see it's a picture of him with the dog with the girl who was wearing the locket. And it says, yours forever. So if we didn't already know, the girl who was crying in the car. And who was with the movie star is
the beautiful
definitely
machina.
His ex-boo. So we get an image of her. It's the next day. Or maybe it's the same day. It's the next day. It has to be the next day. She's in the bathroom. She has Nurse Evelyn's lipstick. She's drawing a butterfly on her stomach.
Exotica.
Americana Exotica. And she finally goes to a window, and there's a body being carried out. The sheets are draped over it like it's a dead body. Mm-hmm. And she says, hey, or Roy, what do you think? Out of the window.
She's yelling out the window, yeah.
So she's running, and she gets up to it. She's shaking the foot, just like the mom did that she saw with the dead kid. And she says, get up. They'll chop you. They'll chop you. The toe.
Yeah.
When I saw this the first time, I thought Roy was dead. I was in tears. When we watched it, well, again, recently, also teared up at that part, even though I know he's alive. When I was rewatching it today, also teared up at that point, even though I know he's alive. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? But yeah, so the orderlies are like, get away from there, shoo. So she runs off and she's distraught. She runs to where Roy's bed usually is. We hear Walt saying he was being his regular old self, playing with his teeth. So that should give us the first hint. We see a bed, an empty mattress being folded up. She slings back the curtains and she's surprised to see Roy because she thought he was dead. Roy's
asleep.
Yeah, kind of in a stupor, waking up. And she's speaking. It's not mumbo jumbo, but she's so upset that it sounds all mishmash.
I thought you were dead.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I know I promised to stay away. I'll bring you medicine if you want. And he's figuring out that he should be dead, like while I'm awake. So he grabs, I guess, one of the pills that.
Yeah, when he was in the process of taking them after Alexandria brought him over, you see he's got them spread out all over the picture that she drew for him. And she even at one point picks one up off the bed. And I thought for a second that she was going to be like, little kids are like, oh, you take medicine, I take medicine.
Well, Evelyn also at that time, in the epic, he spilled the bottle. She's also picking up the bottle of pills to give back to him.
But yeah, no, she just picks it up and hands it to him. So yeah, there's another one that he fishes out of his bedding.
Yeah.
And then presses it and kind of like, does the little nibble taste thing. He's like, sugar?
Yeah. So he's feeding him sugar. Now, before we get into what happens, I have a question. Were there maybe 3 real pills in there? Because why does he also get so sleepy when he takes the whole bottle? Is it a real fast sugar crash? Like, what's happening?
Oh, you never heard of psychosomatic effects?
Yes. Okay.
Placebo effect?
It was strong. It's strong.
He probably really hadn't been sleeping very well. Or maybe he had saved the 3 from the previous bottle and was trying to do them all at once.
I like it. I like that. It makes me satisfied.
But yeah, also, and I don't know if you had gleaned this or if you remember from the first time watching it, it's pretty obvious that Walt, the shitty neighbor in the hospital, is a hypochondriac. Like the doctor is patronizing him. He's bundled up. He doesn't look sick at all.
I don't feel well, Doc.
Yeah. He looks perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. And just the way that it seems like attention seeking. And even whenever his family's there, they don't look worried or anything. And they never specify any reason why he's there.
I didn't think about it in those terms, but that makes sense.
Yeah. As soon as he appeared, because I hadn't seen this movie in ages, and then watching it, and as soon as he appeared, I was like, oh, God, this fucking guy. So, yes, now we get a big, scary freak out from Roy, who is both upset that he's not dead and
what else?
Gets pissed off because Walt comes out whenever he makes his first outburst.
Yeah.
And Walt comes over, he's like, you be quiet, or he says something to him. And then he's like, they're feeding you sugar.
Well, the you be quiet was before when he interrupted him in Alexandria. He doesn't say it now. The Walt is talking to the doctor right now. Because he slings it open and the doctor's like, oh, good, you're awake. Then he was like, they're feeding you sugar, Walt. He freaks out. Alexandria is scared. You can see her turn and you turn again.
He does a primal scream. He grabs onto the curtain of the bedding and he's pulling it and shaking it. And like his whole hospital bed is shaking.
She's peed on herself, according to the dialogue.
Yeah, you can tell that was a little ADR they added in.
Yeah.
As though she
runs out. But
right there.
I will say, footage from the documentary, she got really upset when Roy screamed. And in the hallway, Tarsem and Walt are trying to calm her down.
Oh, yeah.
And Tarsem's like, okay, you don't like the scene. No more yelling, Roy. He says that out. I was like, oh my God, she was really upset and startled. And we see some orderlies running across the hospital yard to come and help because he's really having a freak out. Gosh. I can't imagine you keep getting close to killing yourself, think you done did it, and you know what I mean, gotten close and it's not. Woo. So it's nighttime has come. This is another transition that happened, but what?
Let's pause for a moment too and just discuss. At no point in describing the Roy overdosing while he's telling the story, it doesn't occur to you watching that this is fucked up.
I mean, let me rephrase that. This time watching it and taking notes, I was like, damn, this really fucked up. But while I'm watching, no.
In the framework of the movie, you don't think that.
No.
And it's
Why is that?
Because of how deftly it's handled, the way that the presentation is, she's getting upset thinking that he's falling asleep, stopping telling the story. Like, again, like I said, I think this would be safe to show to kids because they wouldn't
know what's going
grasp what's going on the same way that she doesn't. So it lessens the severity of what is actually happening if you pull out further and look at it like, man, this is a fucking guy overdosing on pills deliberately while a little girl is sitting on his lap after she gave him a picture that she drew of him.
Yeah, so in the Like, Love, Hate, and Can't Believe segment at the beginning, originally before I put Can't Believe as the scenery, whatever, I had it that Roy, I can't believe how dark this story is now that I'm going back through it, that he's just going to fuck him off himself in front of the little girl, even though it's not like in a violent way, but...
But even still, it's nowhere near as fucked up as what's about to happen.
Yeah. Ugh. Unintentionally, he did not plan for this, but it never occurred. So we get a transition. She's looking out into their orange fields. We're in California.
Orange groves.
Yes, sorry. Well, it's because she says there are small fires in the fields. That's why I said field.
Yeah, it's nighttime now.
Yeah. It's a kerosene lamp. It's cold, so they're using it to keep the fruit warm or to stop the fruit from freezing, which is what Nurse Evelyn tries to explain to her.
It's like big barrels with holes punched in the side.
Yeah. And Alexandra's like, no, it's the mystic coming out of the tree to help Roy.
Mm-hmm. Evelyn has no fucking idea what she's talking about.
She says, no more time for funny talk. Maybe one day you can take me downstairs to meet your friend Roy. She asks if she can go downstairs to say goodnight. She says, no, he needs to rest. He can't have any visitors. He's very sad. He's lost his girlfriend. So the whole fucking hospital
knows his
business.
And that he tried to kill himself.
Yeah. Alexandra, she's like, but he can't sleep. He needs medicine. That's the problem. And Evelyn's like, go to sleep. Little girls need sleep too. She says, I'm not little. I'm 5. And then we get the slip on of the shoes. There's a close up and it's Alexandria putting on her shoes.
She similarly doesn't wear socks like you.
Okay. She walks wherever she's in the hallway.
Yeah, she's tiptoeing out into the hospital and then sees a cracked open door she's peering through.
So we hear sex noises. So we can assume it's Evelyn and the doctor.
Getting a clear shot of Nurse Evelyn getting her rocks off.
Yeah, so the next scene, she's
on
sort of...
Alexander the Great.
She's sort of crying a little, like I guess she's traumatized. I don't know.
Yeah, again, not understanding what she saw.
Seeing, but she doesn't like scream or interrupt them or anything. So she tries to get into the dispensary. It looks like before she can, an X-ray technician is coming down the hallway, and that scares her. So she moves off to the side and starts seeing googly go away. So there might be a back door, a second door into the dispensary because she goes in. She climbs back up on the counter like she did the first time. Except this time, is it the mortar or the pestle? Which part is the one you hold to grind?
I would guess that the pestle is the
handheld part.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. I don't know.
I'm assuming that's what that was. That's sitting on the
whatever the little
countertop.
The little club that you mash stuff to make pharmaceutical concoctions
or
with
stuff
the
in the kitchen.
Pestle. Oh,
I have 2 here. Yeah.
What have you pestled up in there?
I did some pepper that way. Okay. I feel like I've done mint that way one time before when I was making mojitos for a baby shower.
But here, since it's in the dispensary where pharmaceutical drugs are dispensed,
it's being used to crush up medicine. So that's on the counter. So she steps up and...
compounding, that's what they call it.
Trying to reach the morphine, and her foot lands on that and she flips back. And again, this scene looks so fake to me, but I don't. It doesn't ruin the movie for me at all. I was just like, oh, that ain't her feet. You know what I didn't mention, or maybe it doesn't happen yet. When the henchmen are around, the sound effects they use are growling dogs. Has that happened yet, or has it just come later? I think it's such a neat detail. Like, that's what she thinks they sound like.
So, yes, later it is dog noises, but in earlier scenes...
It's just roaring.
No, not even that.
It sounds like a low roar.
No.
Not like an animal roar, like a fire.
No, it's more cartoony and innocent in the other scenes. It's
it is different.
It's like chirping almost. It's like...
Okay. I was just making sure. I was like...
It sounds like Monty Python-ish almost.
Okay.
Like the Knights Who Say Knee. You don't know what I'm talking about.
No. So now we get all this imagery. It's her being drugged up and coming out of it, and
concussion probably from the fall. So she's messed up from that, and then is being tended to. But yeah, go on. This is like the stop motion animation.
Yeah. So the stop motion was done by Christopher and Wolfgang Lohenstein. I don't know. German twin brothers. They do experimental, surreal stop motion animation, in case anybody was wondering. And it does look really neat. It's like they pull paper out of her head, and it's, again, like the note-taking chopped up paper she used.
Yeah. So for that note, again, I know we already described it with like the folding the edges on top. It's like how you make
a snowflake.
Maybe. Yes. Okay. That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
So... we overhear stuff. We also, as she's blinking, her eyes open. Like, some of the scenes are timed to her opening and closing her eyes. And one of them is the doctor. It's like giving Roy an earful about what has happened.
Mm-hmm. And we hear Dr. 2 asking, like, did Roy ask you to
get pills?
Get pills? Yeah.
There's a needle that gets stuck in her during the stop animation. She can see her dad when their house got burned. Mm-hmm. She says, don't go out there. Angry people will kill you. We get Lee Pace on that nice crane shot, like his camera's twirling and the carriage is burning. It's just great.
Yeah. The dad is like, you can tell it's a mixture of memory and her dream of the dad being like, thieves, and running towards, and you're like, oh yeah, well, this is during a time period, and I mean, probably still happens places, today, where thieves could just show up on your property and take all your shit and burn your fucking house
down.
You.
Jeez.
So she's waking up, dream sequence over. She's got her head wrapped like a yeah.
There's an X-ray of her head up on the room. On the wall in the X-ray machine in the room. You know what I mean?
You know, forgot to mention when Roy woke up from not being dead and the doctor is coming over. He's like, oh, good thing you're awake. And he has an X-ray that he's about to show Roy, and Roy swats it. And then it's like, oh, yeah, they used to print that shit on like glass plates.
Oh, and that's
because you hear it crash and shatter.
Oh,
so, yeah,
neat.
That's what's hanging up on the wall being lit is the X-ray of her head now.
Mm. So she wakes up and Roy's at her bedside. And she says, I fell again.
He's sitting up in like a wheelchair.
Yeah. He says, I heard, everybody's heard, you're famous. She asks, are they angry? He's like, yeah, but not at you. And she's trying to explain what happened and her English isn't good. And she was like, I was trying to get you medicine, but there was a round thing and it make it go like that. She's doing her hand in a rolling motion, but she can't. He's like, what? It was so good. And this is the first time we see Darwin as an orderly. At least I think. I don't remember seeing his face before then.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What is he doing? Just in the next room smoking or something? I don't know what he's doing. Yeah. Okay. And she says, I didn't tell anybody.
What's that grown man doing in there with a small, untended little girl?
Well, since you brought it up, surely somebody will be like, you can't have this little girl laying all up in your bed for hours on end all day. Like,
I'm not worried, he's paralyzed from the waist down.
Gross. But anyway, yeah, she's really comfortable with the words. Like when she comes, she always just climbs into his bed. And Lee Pace was saying that since she believed he was injured, she was always very careful around his legs when she got into the bed. So she was like, I didn't tell anybody our secret, even when they tortured me with needles. So we can see how she exaggerates. But it wasn't her dream that she was getting stabbed with the needle. She asked for him to continue the story. And I love his voice during this whole scene. Like, it's cracking. Like, he sounds just done with it.
His body's crying.
Yeah. His voice is, it's great. And he's drinking. He was like, that story was just a trick to get you to do something for me. But before we keep going, how was her acting in this scene to you? There are some times where it looks like she's faking and trying, but towards the end, it's like she got real tears produced. Do you know what I mean?
The same thing kind of happens whenever she thinks that Roy is dead, when the old man's body's being carted out. And it's her. She's trying to like blink and think of sad things, but
it's fine there.
But there is an aspect of that naturally in kids too, because you see it, because kids fake cry all the time. Yes, and you can see it as just like I don't know, it's a biological response.
And she smiles at some weird times during this too, but in some behind the scenes footage before they shoot this scene, or maybe it's during one of the breaks, he's like, if you want to cry, cry. If you want to laugh, laugh. Like, whatever you do is okay during the scene.
Yeah, you can tell there are clear times whenever there's more acting required of her versus that natural state that they're trying to achieve. And yes, there's more of it here because, of course, there is.
Gag is up now, like she knows about the cameras.
Well, but thankfully, the way the camera work is and the focus and all the heavy lifting is being done by Lee Pace. And it's probably the strength of his performance that is allowing her to get somewhere else with her acting. That was something in one of the interviews with him, was he talked about her as a scene partner, that he remembered even just trying to think of a way to explain what acting was to her. Because of it being such a foreign concept. And he said he remembered after one scene telling her, like, you did a great job. And like seeing that sense of pride wash over her, like she was understanding the acting as a process.
Yeah, there were also some scenes when Tarsem will say something to them both. And he was like, do you understand? We have to do it over. And apparently he also did a lot of her blocking. Lee Pace did, since he was so close in that scene with her with the curtain. But anyway, so he picks the story back up, and it's on Evelyn.
And this is where we get the real cruelty. Yeah, worse than him trying to kill himself while she's sitting in.
She's like, I don't want her in the story. She's just pretending. And he's like, no, it's okay. And she says, she was just pretending to love you, just like your girlfriend. She says it more than once. He don't tell her to shut up this time. There's another time. He's like, shut up. So Darwin is watching Evelyn through, what's that, telescope? She's with Odious. And so the bandit is drinking in the as well.
Odious is
the guy that his girlfriend,
stole Roy's
Sinclair.
Girl.
Yeah. So he's also drinking Roy in the epic. And he says, you give them your heart, but all they really want is your wallet. And he says, you'll see, she'll leave him too for a man with more money. Luigi is saying we shouldn't do this, it's suicide. Roy says, we're going in.
They're on the blue building.
Yes.
Here.
And Alexandria is there as the little bandit. And she says, hey, Indian, what means suicide?
And he does the gesture of like
the universal gesture. Throat. Yeah.
But even still, to a kid, you don't understand that that's doing that to yourself. You just know that it means death.
Yeah. So this is the only transition that bothered me. I don't know why. It's not bad at all. But whatever, one of the little, you can't call it a window because there's no glass in it, but a cutout in one of the buildings, they like pull into it. Like they're looking out at the blue city and they pull into it. It just, I don't know, it wasn't as smooth to me as the rest, but it's not bad at all. Wallace runs off while they're getting closer to whatever building Odious is in because they're going to storm it.
Well,
what?
He doesn't just run off. He sees
something.
I'm
not finished.
Okay. He's chasing something.
Yeah. But we don't know that.
Okay, go ahead.
Because Darwin's like, Wallace, where are you going? And a henchman is nearby and he fucking shoots the monkey. And Darwin screams. He runs to where he is. And he's like, Wallace, what did you do? Or something like that. And he opens his hand.
This is more like little girl. Mm-hmm. They're about to storm the castle, but Darwin's running around going, Wallace! Wallace!
He opens his hand. A butterfly, Americana exotica, flies out. And I'm like, oh, this poor little monkey. Because the monkey did a good job.
Oh, yeah. Death.
Jesus Christ, he's some talented animals.
Yeah, and the way they did the makeup on it too, I'm sure it's not easy to apply like fake blood to a monkey, or the fact that it was shot. It's a small monkey. Yeah, I don't know what type of monkey it is, but it's one of those, one that could like sit on your shoulder, or like if it would have been shot by a regular sized bullet, I feel like it would have obliterated its center mass. Yeah, okay. But you can see it's like a little tiny pinhole, like a little to scale.
Well, not pinhole, but
yeah. But it's like the cutest bullet hole on the monkey. And,
it doesn't look gory or anything.
And yeah, the monkey is doing a great job acting. Its eyes are looking sleepy, like it's fading off, and yeah. So then Darwin stands up enraged.
Yeah, go ahead and shoot, you animals.
This is the best line.
Is it? What does he say? Go ahead, because I was going to ruin it. What does he say?
And he says it with such it's a full like action movie line delivery. And he says like, they'll pay you well for Darwin's hide. It's like the idea of Charles Darwin as an action hero, or that he's like a fugitive to be collected a bounty on, something like that. Is, I don't know.
Before they pulled the trigger, you can hear Alexandra. She's upset. She's like, does he really die? Talking about Wallace the monkey. And then they shoot Darwin and he falls into the water. And she says, he died too? Did he really die? And Roy says, and in Wallace's case, happily so. It was a natural order of things.
It's during this is where you see like when he spreads his arms. Oh, is it the full butterfly?
Okay, what does he mean
shot.
In Wallace's case, happily so? Like he shouldn't have been held captive by Darwin or something? I thought it was a strange thing to say. Also, I don't think I would have been able to do that stunt where the man falls back into the water.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that looked dangerous, because it was on the footage from the documentary. There was like, it looked like nothing was in place.
Just went right into the water, yeah.
Whew. Roy says all things must die, and he's just being dark as fuck. Like, poor girl. So we get apparently, I enjoyed the score. I wrote score. Luigi gets shot in the foot. He tells the Indian to go on without him without using words. He just looks at him and gives him a head nod.
So I didn't think about this.
What?
Until joining you for the last 3/4 of your rewatch.
Uh-huh.
It's him getting shot in the foot. And that he also had the peg leg.
Yes. You slow. I'm just playing. So he tells the Indian to go on without him just by doing a head nod. So he does. So now the henchmen start sounding like growling dogs.
Mm-hmm. They're chasing Luigi. He's running towards a building.
Uh-huh. He draws them into a building. There's so many men. And I just want to say, the towel, the checkerboard pattern on the ground in this scene is so cute. It's like a pale pink, or at least it looks pale pink to me. Everything in this movie is great. So he draws them all into the room. They close the door behind them and lock it. And what?
Yeah. And this is great punctuation because he's touted as the explosives expert in every situation. And like even Alexandria calls out at one point. She's like, the bomb.
Yeah,
for him to put the fuse out. Is that there's all these false starts of him being about to blow something up. And so, yeah, they all chase him into this building. They shut the door, and then he opens up his jacket. And
lined with explosives.
Yeah, just row after row of lit sticks of dynamite all the way up and down the interior lining of his jacket. And then he
says, kaboom. And then we get the big explosion. So that's happening. The explosion like sort of tosses Roy and the Indian. The mystic gets sort of banged against the wall. His dentures fly out. Doesn't look good.
Now, the mystic is not being played by the old man with the dentures. But yes, now has dentures.
Yes. Sorry, the mystic man is played by another man that she picks oranges with. So we hear some Odious. We get a footage. We get a scene with Odious saying, "Bring them up here." She's crying. "I don't like the story. Why are we running away? Why did Luigi kill himself? Why didn't he come with us?" And Roy says, "And live as half a man." And when he's...
All of these lines are being delivered through like choking tears. And
when she's saying that, "I don't like this story," he's like, "It's not very satisfying, is it?" It's like, Jesus Christ. So she says, "We have to save the mystic," and she breaks free from the rest of the bandits and runs toward him. But then Ada Binga comes out, and I just noticed this today. Nobody tries to help. They both run off. The Indian and Roy, they like turn and start running, and leaves it to Ada Binga. Henchmen have drawn the arrows, just dozens of them flying down, hitting him in his back, but he's protecting Alexandria.
And this is one of the coolest on-screen deaths of any movie ever.
But first, we get some footage of the mystic. He's getting beat, and the birds that he said were in his belly, they're flying out.
Yeah.
He's in pain.
He's held up, pressed against a tree, another tree, and they're holding up clubs and axes and beating him. And they eventually rip his dreads off too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's just a wig.
Yeah, just a
behind the scenes again. So she was scared of the henchmen in this scene, and you can see Tarsem. He was like, "You don't have to be scared. They're just actors." And some other place during this scene, she had got upset. She's like, you can hear she's her real crying when she does the really choked up. And Tarsem's getting frustrated. And he's like, "Just move her over here and you say the same thing, but over here." So she was visibly upset when they show all that. It's real neat. Lee Pace is right out of the frame while she's doing her line and talking to him. Anyway, just thought it was neat. And then, like you said, coolest death ever. What happens to Ada Binga?
The archers loose their arrows. They made it on time to archery class when they were in LA and they learned how to shoot. So the first round hits them and it's maybe just 5 or 6, but then they just keep launching round after round and more arrows start to fill up his entire back until eventually he lets Alexandria loose when she's safe to run away behind a wall.
And she's saying, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then eventually he's hit by so many arrows that he falls back, but the arrows support his whole body weight.
So neat.
Like laying on a bed of nails. So he's suspended above the ground on the arrows.
So neat.
And, arms falling back, head falling back. He says
it's okay to her saying, okay. I'm sorry. So now we get Roy with Alexandra on his back. They're climbing a rope and the Indian is behind them as well. They're trying to get the safety to just another level. So in order to save Alexandra and Roy, the Indian takes out a knife and he cuts the rope. So he falls and dies as well. And both Alexandra and Roy are like in the tower watching him do this. And they're like both crying like, oh no. We're in real life. She's like, why are you killing everybody?
Why are you killing everybody?
He says it's my story. She says it's mine too. I was like, oh. Odious is calling for them. And now Roy and Alexandra as bandits, they pop up. They said, we're here alive. Evelyn is also in the scene. So Roy's attention in the tale as the bandit is now focused on Evelyn. And Alexandra's like, don't look at her. She's also with Odious, just like your girlfriend. And he says, shut up. And she's like, your girlfriend came with Odious to see you, but she stayed in the car and she was crying. Woo. Odious just cracks him in the nose. She jumps like she looks like it startled her. She says, but wait a little, please. Like before the kill comes. And I'm like, oh, it's so heartbreaking that he's still going through this.
They're in the water.
Fucked up story. Yes, yeah. There's a little pond.
In a pool of water.
And she says, you're making this up. Let him live. Roy, get up and fight. And I really enjoyed her in the scene, how she's crying.
This, again, the little kid.
Oh, what? The little kid, what?
Odious.
Yes, that's what I was getting to next. Okay. Go ahead.
No, you go.
She's begging him to get up, and he says, I can't get up. And Odious breaks the fourth wall. He says, for God's sakes, the ward is only waist high. Basically calling him a wuss. He calls him a drug addict. And Roy's like, our masked bandit's a coward. And then she was like, he made a vow or something. And he was like, no, his fingers were crossed. So we rewind. They don't show the epic tale rewinding, but we go back to the scene where he has his hand pressed on his brother and he's vowing to take revenge.
Yeah, the blood-soaked brother.
Yeah, and you can see that his fingers are crossed, which is so neat. It's like a little kid thing. And she says, I don't believe you. Don't kill him. I'll bring you more pills if you want. She's still on these pills. God bless.
And it's the only thing that she knows that he wants.
Yeah.
It's the pills.
He says there's nothing left. She says his daughter. And then he says, not really. It's not really his daughter.
It's not his real daughter.
She was like, but she loves him. He says she'll survive. She's young. And then finally in real life, she's like, I don't want you to die. Don't kill him. Let him live. I was like, oh my God, I wrote, what a sweet baby. She says, promise and don't cross your fingers. Show me your hands. So he lifts up his hands and his fingers aren't crossed. Then we're back to the epic tale. Roy stands up in the water. He punches Odious. She says, no more fighting. He needs to go to his daughter. She's afraid. Oh, so yeah, he walks up over to her out of the water. He picks her up. They kiss. And then next, they're on a rooftop somewhere. And Evelyn, rude ass, comes up. She was like, it was just a test, don't you? To see how much you loved me. Alexandra has her hands crossed, looking at her like she has an attitude.
Yes, which you swear does not signify that.
Crossed arms?
Yeah.
That does not. Sometimes I cross it for comfort. It doesn't mean I have an attitude or feel like I'm. What are you saying?
Stop rubbing your brow like the Indians.
Please.
You're not nervous.
So this is also intercut with Odious. He's sitting up, and we didn't mention, when they first walk towards the pond, he sits a sword off on the side or the edge for some strange reason. So when he sits up after getting beat up,
he goes to like lean against the wall.
Yeah, and the sword pierces his heart.
Right where the sword is. Yeah. What does he say? He says something.
I don't feel well.
Oh, yeah.
Back on the rooftop, the bandit, Roy, has the locket from earlier that saved her life when he shot her. And he grabs the locket. He has it, I guess. He says, by all means, follow your heart. And he throws it over the edge of the building, like telling Evelyn she can kick rocks. Then Odious says, I'm not feeling very well. He's like floating in the pool. You can see blood around him. Mm-hmm. Roy in real life, he leans his head on Alexandra's bed and says, we're a strange pair, aren't we? And then in the epic tale, she's shaking her head. Uh-huh. So cute.
So now we get the little epilogue here.
Yeah. So we can see a film getting cut on, like with a projector. Mm-hmm. We see Ada Binga. He has as the Iceman, his hat's off. He got a bald head looking crazy. Oh, we have is that a violin, right? We have a violinist.
Yeah,
for
the fiddle.
Yeah, for the live music, because this is a silent film. We're in the 20s. Mm-hmm. We see an image in the movie of the Indian stroking his brow that Roy was talking about when he was selling, supposed to be talking about, but of course, Alexandria pictures somebody else. We also have a masked bandit.
Native American Indian.
Yes. And then the hype guy who was with the original star, he's there. He's saying, so this is the kind of mess we're going to be making from now on. People jumping off buildings, bridges, and horses. So apparently you think stunts were looked down upon at first or something?
Well, they're doing a screening that's like all the...
injured kids.
Yeah.
Anybody at the hospital, actually.
Yeah, screening for the people in the hospital. And the music, too, is also the... Dun, 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 dun. She's just playing that same riff over and over again.
So we can tell the scene that injured him is coming up. And I like this. His heartbeat gets so loud. We can hear that. And it looks like they cut the footage, clearly. And the hype guy, he's like, oh, so that was a big stunt. They didn't even use a horse thing. And then we see his ex-girlfriend, and Odious has a mask on. Movie's over. Everybody's enjoying it. Then we cut to present day, and we see that cigar box that Alexandra would tote around. She has the old man's teeth in it this time, and she takes it out. She puts each one into each half of an orange pill.
Yeah, she's still a little girl.
Yes.
It's not present day like she's older now.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Later.
No. Present day for her after she's been healed and left the hospital. She says, and if you're wondering, she doesn't say if you're wondering why I buried him, but something to that effect.
This is all voiceover, too. She's not saying it.
She says, I'm going to bury these, and the mystic will grow a special orange tree, and it'll be oranges inside of, or teeth inside of oranges. And then the Indian that was in the epic tale. He's also there, as well as the mystic. Yeah. He's calling her attention to a butterfly. He's saying flutere, flutere. So she walks over and there's a butterfly. She says when she left the hospital, she missed Roy so much, but her mother told her Roy works in pictures, and she starts describing what a stuntman would do. And she said, at first, I didn't believe her, but then I saw this, and it was an image of Roy getting hit over the head, and she plays it over and over again.
And it's slowing down enough to where you can see that it's clearly really Roy's face.
I was like, oh, that's sweet.
And so she says it too. She's like, I watched it over and over and over.
Yeah. And she was like, then I like all the stunts because I know that's what Roy does. They're showing all these.
The fighting, the jumping, the hitting.
They're like you mentioned them earlier. We have a montage of all these old black and white stunts, and they look very dangerous.
Crazy, like the sides of a building falling, but the window is right where it falls, right where the person would be. And people on a moving vehicle on a ladder, and they're doing seesaw on a ladder while a car is driving. Stuff. People almost getting hit by trains or getting moved out of the way at the last second. People with their feet wedged on to a train and holding on to the door of a car while they're both moving side by side. It's And
some of these are well-known movie scenes, and some silent ones I've been meaning to watch for forever, but there's a lot of Chaplin in there as well.
Yeah, like I couldn't tell you individually what any of those scenes are from, but they are clips that I have seen before
because they were so amazing.
Life.
Yeah. The end.
The end.
Oh, in the last part of it, there's a stuntman. He's falling into the water and he's like blowing a kiss.
Oh yeah, mwah, mwah, mwah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's the phrase she keeps repeating. Nice.
Brittany scale.
I mean, do we even need to do this? Is absolutely getting a good. I would give it more if I could.
Yeah, but you got to tell the Brittany scale.
Brittany scale is a rating system we use that consists of words that I use commonly that Brendan noticed whenever I'm asked to describe anything. So from worst to best, it's bad, okay, regular, decent, good. And as I just mentioned, absolutely good for this movie. You?
I second that. Good.
So, did you happen to see what the critics had an issue with? I didn't bother to even look it up. Or in your mind, what do you think it would be?
Well, I screenshotted one when I was trying to comb through reviews, which I guess is another. Some of these aggregator sites now, they allow current critics to go back and post under movies that came out 20 years ago instead of printing stuff that were current or came out at the time. Anyways, this one was a legitimate one. I don't know if we want to do attributions. I couldn't look up the full review, but just the blurb for it was from Kurt Loder from MTV. I don't know if you ever watched MTV. It was like Kurt Loder with MTV News.
Ooh, I'm sure I know his face if I see it.
He gave it a negative review and said, like 2 hours of high-end perfume commercials.
What does that mean?
Because it's just imagery. People were saying it was pretentious and stuff like that. Oh, if the visuals are so good, if only it had a good story, and I don't know. People get hung up on.
I can imagine if they weren't expecting that, like how I was with Inherent Vice. Hated it. Maybe if they gave it another try. And it's just crazy how it's not crazy how your mood influences you for that day. Like all the time, if I hear a song one day, I'm like, this is horrible. I hear it again another day. I'm like, oh, this is a good song.
Yeah, I would definitely. I mean, it clicks and all works for me, but I could see somebody falling on the other side and being like, if you, some people kill that child inside of themselves so they can, and they never recapture it, or it's so suppressed that they would not be able to attune to something that is pretty much like a kid's story. It's a movie that has little kid brain and big kid adult execution of that.
Very well done.
And even if you liken it to another Indian filmmaker, M. Night Shyamalan made, when he was kind of at peak powers, a fairy tale or bedtime story called The Lady in the Water. That was supposedly a story that he would have, one that he made up, that he would tell his kids to go to bed at night, and then he made it into a narrative feature film that is one of the worst movies.
Really?
That I would actually be curious to watch it again, because I remember watching it and be like, it even has a character who's a movie critic in it, who is meta textually describing, oh, well, this would be bad if this were in a movie. This would be the part where this happens. It was. Anyways, comparatively, I would say like Tarsem knocked his kid's fairy tale out of the park and made, incidentally, an R-rated one that I feel like a 5-year-old could watch and would not be bothered by. If the worst thing in it is the violence, suicide's going to go right over a kid's head.
He said he refused to take the scene out of Odious leaning back on the knife or the sword.
Yeah, well, and you see worse stuff in
now,
kids' cartoons and kids' shows. Like, there's way worse stuff.
I didn't even think about that. And just one more thing I found out while doing my very quick research. It was just asking or stating what experiences influenced him about how to tell stories or the kind of stories he likes to tell. So besides what did you say the quote was about stealing but hiding it?
I was
paraphrasing.
I was paraphrasing very poorly and struggling to get to where I got. But yeah, that was more or less it. Like, originality is concealing who you stole it from, basically.
Oh. Well, anyway, I just thought that was neat because he said he had this teacher who would tell amazing stories every week with cliffhangers. So I wonder if she used that to get the kids to behave, but I thought that was neat. And he would watch films in Iran when that's where his father worked, where he was growing up. And they were dubbed in Farsi, so he didn't know what they were about, but he could remember the visuals. So whenever he got back with his friends, he would retell the movie, but he had to make everything up. He just let the visuals guide him. And I thought, oh, that was neat, because like I said, I could just watch his movie on mute. Like, you don't need the dialogue.
You don't think you'd be confused whenever
probably
characters switch from one actor to another?
Yes, but I don't even know what I would have came up with. Oh, yes, I found it. Francis Ford Coppola had rented all the sound stages for his film Youth Without Youth.
Another hugely reviled piece of work. We should watch it. I've never seen it.
Okay. Next time on Black and White Movie Night, we'll be doing one of my favorites, me, 2 in a row. Also happens to be from 2006, but Apocalypto, directed by Mel Gibson. And you've seen this. How many? A lot or no?
I haven't seen it probably since it was out in theaters.
Oh, okay.
But I remember loving it. Maybe I saw it once more on DVD.
So yeah, if you have it available, try to watch it and join us next week.
So that's, I mean, I more or less already let slip an Inherent Vice. That Interstellar was the other. So I didn't realize that. Of course, it's on a technicality since it first screened in 2006, but that both of the ones you picked were from the same year and both of the ones that I picked were from the same year.
Yeah, well, I noticed. I just thought it was interesting.
Strange.
Yeah, I didn't get to see any of these in theaters, if I'm not mistaken.
Shame.
Yeah. Oh my God, I would love it. If you're able to watch Apocalypto, do so and join us next week. This has been Black and White Movie Night. I'm Black.
I'm white. You're wrong. And I'm right.
Black and white. Black and white.